Welcome to it, sports fans. A different ball game. It is the 26th of COVID month, August, in the 2020th year since, I don't know, when do we count from? Is it Jesus time? A long time ago. So it's 2020 years from a long time ago. Just want to say a shout out to me. I'm 34 this year, 1 year older than Jesus Christ. Just saying. Wanted to put that out there. So shout out to me and shout out to all of those that make it past 33. Shout out to people who have survived COVID-19, by the way. This has been a situation. Whew. But the country's opening back up. If you're in South Africa, the United Kingdom opening back up, Germany opening back up. So interesting times ahead indeed. But welcome to a different ball game. We are here to talk sports. And tonight I'm pumped. I've got the voice of the people. Right, as a Chelsea fan, we got the voice of the people. He's the host of the SW6 podcast. Can't wait. Got a special guest today. Don't think I want to ruin that. We're going to let him intro himself. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. So great guest. We're talking Chelsea today. We're going to look at 1920, how that season's gone for Chelsea with everything that came with. And then, of course, we'll look forward with some of the, Marina's been busy. So we'll look at all of the transfer activity, etc. But we're going to start off with a little bit of cricket. And, of course, it's been an interesting situation. England, of course, once again, country's opening back up. They're playing cricket again. So it's been really, really interesting. Welcome to it. No matter where you are around the world, it is an absolute honor to have you with us. You could be anywhere doing anything with anyone. Just don't swap saliva. It is COVID-19 time, people. Take this thing seriously. Take it seriously just so we can have football back with fans. If just that. Whatever the incentive is. But thank you so much for choosing us tonight. Let's get to it. So before we get going with our first topic, I'm a man of quality over quantity. Give it to any time. People ask me, would you rather have 10 people at a party, right, and kind of jibber jabber, to the point where I hate going to supper and dinner when somebody invites me for a birthday. The table's 20 people long, and I can only talk to the 3 people around me. What a waste of my time. There's no quality in that. Well, why are 20 of us gathering to do nothing? Because I can't chat to the other person at the end of the table. There's no quality in that for me. I'm probably going to sit around people I know anyway, in a loud restaurant, and people are loud behind me. So what I'd prefer is give me a table of 4. If I don't know, let's say I don't know the other 3 people, or I know 1 and I don't know the other 2. That means more to me. Quality over quantity, anytime. Don't invite me to your birthday to a 20-seater. I don't care. I just don't care. Quality over quantity. And people, here's the thing. People get caught up in numbers and superficial kind of representation, and that's it, right? That's the world we live in. And I have to preface this by saying, in a world where it's only about the number, in a world where production is only about the bottom line and the number, I'd just like to make it clear, if you're a football fan, Darren Bent is a better striker than Didier Drogba. In that world. Jermaine Defoe, better striker than Didier Drogba. In that world, Alan Shearer is a better striker than Thierry Henry if it's just about goals. Alan Shearer is much better than Thierry Henry. Come on. Nobody thinks that. Nobody who wants to be respected on planet Earth thinks Alan Shearer is better than Thierry Henry. I don't care what club you support. I don't care what your nationality is. There is nobody on this planet who will be taken seriously if they ever utter the words, Alan Shearer is better than Thierry Henry purely because he has more goals. If you're willing to say that in public, I don't want to know you. Don't look at me. You don't deserve to vote. You're insane. I think all sane people know Thierry Henry, the king of them all. Here's why I'm saying this. So there was a tweet that I saw as, of course, James Anderson went on to collect his 600th test wicket. Now, I'm not going to diminish what a monumentous occasion this is. First seam bowler to ever, because fast bowlers very, very kind. He's never been anything above fast medium. But he's the first seamer to ever get 600 wickets. And we must not underestimate. I always say availability is the greatest ability. So let's not underestimate the man's longevity. I'm not going to take that away from him. But Joe Best, I guess he has to say this. Joe Best, of course, the new off spinner, and they're loving him. They think he's got swan potential. said he's the GOAT of bowling and England's best. By the way, GOAT, for those that don't know, is the greatest of all time. He's saying James Anderson is the greatest bowler of all time. He's the greatest bowler of all time, Joe Best. So maybe Best is saying it because, all right, he's the new kid on the block, blah, 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 fit in, say the right things. Listen here, Joe Best, I got some news for you. You are smoking the finest quality budge that they've got in the UK. If you truly believe that, right? And anybody that thinks James Anderson is the greatest bowler of all time, you are smoking the finest green. Right? Because, all right, let's say it's not my opinion. And I've got another tweet here, which I loved. I thought certainly South Africa's greatest, the man with the greatest strike rate of all time, congratulated Jimmy Anderson. Dale Steyn probably has to do the right thing, because there's always the comparison, Steyn, Anderson. There isn't really. Steyn's in a different league. But, hey, just take a moment, appreciate how good Jimmy is, blah, 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 600. It's the right PR thing to do. Dale Steyn, all right, blah, blah, blah. But then there's always that one guy. There's always that one lady. There's always that one guy. Every guy and lady knows there's one friend you don't take in public. They're good friends. If you're having a barbecue at home, all good. There's always that one guy. In this case, a guy called Neil Rushton says, great tweet. Some pundits on Sky Sports picked their best 11 from the last 30 years. The bowlers were Steyn, Anderson, McGrath, Warne, Muralidharan, and Cullis. All right, I don't even want to, so James Anderson is now in the greatest bowlers in the last 30 years. Okay, let me take my emotions out of it. People will say, oh, you're South African, you're biased. Fine. Let's do the numbers game. Right? Let's just do the numbers game. Take my emotions out of it. I'm out of it. I'm an opinionated douchebag. Fine, let's go with that. Listen, Anderson doesn't belong on that list, but let's take my emotions out of it. Now I'm not dumb, drunk guy at the pub. Let's look at the numbers. And let's look at the numbers properly, not just the wickets. Let's look at the numbers of the bowlers with 400 wickets or more. Let's start off with that. Right. Let's have a look at the fast bowlers that got into that so-called best side by the pundits at Sky Sports. So McGrath, the pigeon, the greatest, and Steyn got in. So I've got some bad news for people. Right, okay. Anderson got in with 600 wickets, 26 average, which is deplorable, by the way. That's all-rounder numbers, and a 56 strike rate. There is nobody on this planet, I don't care who you are, who's going to tell me that James Anderson is worse than Courtney Walsh, right? Is worse than Richard Hadley, right? Or is better than Richard Hadley, is better than Sean Pollock, is better than Wasim Akram, is better than Curtly Ambrose. That's just the people. I haven't included Alan Donald. Keep your hat on. Ambrose, Akram, Pollock, Hadley, I'm sorry. Courtney Walsh, stop it. Stop it. Anybody who thinks James Anderson is better than those guys, you need to stop it. And look at the strike rate. Look at the average. That's what's important. I thought I might even go look at the fivers that Sir Richard Hadley has, 22 average, 431 wickets. So it's not a highlights package. People, give me quality over quantity. 156 games, all right. But I can't do it at a 27 average. That's an all-rounder's average. That's an all-rounder's average. And then the strike rate, I got to sacrifice that. I'm sorry. Hadley's 50. Listen, Hadley bowls an over less to get me a wicket, guaranteed. Every 10 overs or so, Anderson's going to get you a wicket. Every 9 overs, the great Sir Richard gets me a wicket. Stop it. Can we please stop it? So right now, Dave, give me that next graphic. I'm not having it. I'm not having it. These are the people that were excluded for James Anderson in this so-called team. Walsh, Hadley, Pollock, Akram, Ambrose. I'm sorry, all of them, those averages are all time. And that's what's important with bowling, by the way. The strike rate's important, but once you got the average, right, that's wickets to runs. Because that's the one. That's how you win, is save me runs and get me wickets. I'm sorry, 27, I know all-rounders with that. That's not an opening bowler's average. I won't have it. If we just look at the wickets, in football, nobody thinks Alan Shearer is better than Didier Drogba. I'm sorry. And I won't have it. He's not better than Andy Cole just because he's got more goals. James Anderson shouldn't be spoken of in the same breath as Walsh, Hadley, Pollock, Akram, Ambrose. Look at those numbers. Just look at the averages. And if you want to go strike rate, go strike rate. Quality over quantity. James Anderson, congratulations. It's not to take away from you, but when you talk about the GOAT, Joe Best, you got to do the right thing. But I'm not going to have it. I'm not going to, no, not on my watch. James Anderson is second, third tier at best. At best, second tier. But even then, I'm already giving you, I haven't included, by the way, Vakar Yunus. I haven't included Alan Donald in that mix in the last 30 years. And if you think he's better than Alan Donald, go and have your head read. Go and have your head read right now. Alan Donald is one of the greatest bowlers, forget spin or pace, to ever live. I just gave you the people with 400 wickets or more. Stop it. He's not better than Hadley, Ambrose, Walsh at least. Pollock, I mean, come on. Come on. So, Joe Best, I understand. You want to keep your place in the team. You got to say the right thing. But for the Sky Sports pundits, I mean, there's bias and there's bias. For them to say in the last 30 years he's better than Akram, Walsh, and Ambrose, oh, man, it's laughable. It is laughable. It is absolutely, it's embarrassing. Like, I'm sorry, if you're going to do clickbait, but don't do that, because that's embarrassing. And nobody thinks James Anderson's better than Alan Donald. No one. Courtney Walsh, I hate to go over. Nobody thinks he's better than Wasim Akram. Wasim Akram's one of the greatest bowlers to ever live. Nobody's ever said James Anderson. That has never come out of anybody's mouth. And I just want to highlight something. Dave, why don't you go back to the first graphic for me? I want to, the gap between James Anderson and Dale Steyn is so far apart. So Dale Steyn has the greatest strike rate of any bowler ever to take above 300 wickets, by the way. And then look at that average. So why would I take Anderson if that was it? Courtney Walsh. I mean, Hadley, look at that average, look at the strike rate. Akram, look at that average, look at the strike rate. To be all-time great, I need your average to be 24 and under. And then there's some guys who are 23 and under, and that's scary, with over 400 wickets. Steyn, Hadley, Ambrose. Ambrose is ridiculous, right? Under 21 to have, it's stupid, it shouldn't happen. That's just like ridiculous. And he's got 400 wickets, so it's not like a little highlights package. And he's still getting new wickets at every 54 balls. Ambrose is out of this world. James Anderson, I've seen 26 average at 57 strike rate. I've seen that. There's plenty of that on the list. And I'll tell you what that really equates to. A mediocrity. He's second, third tier, people. Don't get fooled by the numbers. Alan Shearer is not better than Thierry Henry just because he's got the most goals. James Anderson is not better than Walsh, Ambrose, and Akram. Do me a favor. Do me a favor. Listen, before we get to our guest, the rig has said Anderson won't be remembered for his running between the wickets, though, unlike Donald Duck. Oh, my goodness. Savagery. That is absolutely savage. But you know what I think of one-day cricket? It is useless. Get it out of here. Like my ex-girlfriend, out of here. Done with it. I got no time for one-day cricket or T20 cricket. I am not 15 years old. Hey, I'll tell you who's certified great. Listen, we got a guest. I have not been this excited because I'm a Chelsea guy. I'm unapologetic about it. I believe in bias. Be biased. Stand by your opinion. I'm a Chelsea guy. But the voice of the people, the voice of SW6, coming up after this.
listen, it's your boy in the flesh. This ain't no Madam Tussauds nonsense. We've got Matisse in the flesh, you've got Dami in the black hoodie, but back again with some facts. Are you seeing what Chelsea are doing at the moment? We're not here to play. We've got man like Kai Havertz in the bag already, like he's secured. It's not even a joke. Then obviously you've got Ching Ching for Chilwell. Alex, thanks for that one, my G. We've got Ching Ching for Chilwell. My guy is twerking for the club. Literally on his knees for us.
Preach.
He's begging.
Preach.
Begging. I haven't seen this sort of begging in my life. Honest to God. Then what have you got next? You've got Declan Rice. This man is getting into the DMs of ex-players to get propaganda out.
Preach.
He's trying too hard. I mean, I take him, but he's trying too hard. Then now you've got Thiago Silva. Bro. Thiago Silva. Who do you man think this is? Do you think this is a Mickey Mouse institution? We're not here to play, brother. Honest to God. You look at them lot like United and Arsenal. I'm not even gonna.
Let me chat to you about United real quick, yeah? This whole club, their fan base, I'm not going to draw for you, man, too much, but you're talking about Sancho and all of this stuff. And I'm seeing you get linked with David Brooks. It's like 40 million bags for this guy. It doesn't make any sense. Everybody's doing stuff, bro. Where's Man United? When are they going to come to the table? You man are all piping up talking about third place goal difference when you spent 200 million plus with Oli in his 12th season of management. Listen, next season's going to be different, you know. I'm seeing Arsenal even doing more business than you, man. So you're going to have to get on our level.
Arsenal, you know.
You're going to have to get on our level because we're not sleeping at Stamford Bridge. We're here. We're woke. You see what I'm saying? We're not playing games. So let me know when you man want to actually get involved. The transfer window is open, yeah? Don't forget.
You man keep gassing up that fridge, yeah? Man's getting arrested. Look at that. I'm going for Thiago Silva, one of the best captains around, and you lot have a fridge. Are you joking?
It's not
There
even
are levels to this game.
It's not even a smart fridge. It's not even a smart
It's not even a smart fridge. There are levels to this game. You lot, watch your lane. Chelsea's back. I see all of you on the tier. I can smell the United tears. I smell the Arsenal tears. I see everything that's going on. You man are crying right now. We've got Don Roma. Man is actually out here buying paintings for Stamford Bridge. He's got Kai Havertz there already. We're not the same. Relax. Sit down. Stay at home. Save lives. It's Chelsea.
Stay at home, save lives. This is Chelsea. We are not the same. We usually have a big, I usually do my sort of intro, but it couldn't get better than that. We're not going to do an intro. I mean, that intro is the one. The guy in the house, my guy, Dami. Dami, what's going on, blood?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, my friend? Thank you for having me on.
Hey, come on, bro. Listen, the other guy in that video is a guy called Matisse, who is out of this world as well. Dami, talk to me about making that video. Where were you guys? And tell me about Matisse and what you guys do actually for a living as well.
Bro, the thing about that video is a lot of people, because like on the timeline, okay, because for anyone that doesn't know who I am on here, I actually do like I put out videos on Twitter. I also run like a podcast. So I do have my jokey side where I do stuff like that. And I also like interview people like journalists and like that connected to football players and parents of football players and stuff like that. And I like these things at the bottom as well. But So yeah, with that video, actually, I was down in London. I had to catch a train up to where I stay up in Sheffield. And then I just said, you know what? I messaged Matisse and I said, yo, my G, because Matisse is one of my very good friends, innit? So I just said, boss, I'm around for like 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. Where you at? And he says he's around in Central. And I said, all right, that's not a problem at all. So what I did is I have like a backup account myself. So I've got like a backup Twitter account. And I said, you know what? When Matisse met up with me, I just recorded both of us standing outside, gassed up the camera for like 16 seconds. Everybody, and I put that on my second account. I put this up on my second account. He's clocked in like 5,000 views in like, 1 hour? And I'm just like, what's going on there? It's just, I didn't even put any useful content out. And everybody was just like, we need something serious. We need a video. And Matisse and I were just like, you know what? We need to bless the children with what they want. So that's how that video came about, Zero planning, absolutely nothing. And then it just came out as a masterclass.
It's madness, man. So how do we support you? I mean, before we get into what we're going to talk about, from a business side, I mean, we live in a global world now. You know what I'm saying, bro? Is that how do we support you in terms of a business side? You said you kind of make the content. I know you with the SW6 daily guys. By the way, the podcast is in the description. So for everybody that wants to get on the podcast, it's in the description, but we'll plug it in a little bit more and make sure we punt that. So no need to worry about that. But business-wise, what are you up to as well on the side? I mean, we're all keeping it going. You're making great content. How do we support you to ensure that Dami's keeps taking it to the next level? Because, bro, I've been on it. When we were chatting, you thought I was just some guy who's just jumped on. I've been on it since the beginning, and I've loved your vibe.
Thank you so much, man. The thing is, when people tell me what you just said, it really does make me happy because I do this as a joke. Do you know what I mean? So I bounced onto the platform. He just came up because the thing is, like, the reason why I started on Twitter was because I always had a Twitter account before, and I still have it. It's just a little account. It has like 100 followers. That's even smaller than my second account. And I said I wanted to be able to express like my opinions and like just come onto the timeline and argue with people that kept on putting like silly opinions out there. So what I now decided to do was one day something happened and I said, I need to drop a video on the timeline because I was just like, I can't really, because I'm a lot better at speaking because I do public speaking and I do presentations and all of that, like on a professional level as well. So I just felt like, let me just come along and do like a video. And then the thing with that video is I didn't step professionally, I stepped like Dami, because what people don't understand is that's not a character, that's how I am. Do you understand? That's how Matisse is, that's how we move. So I come onto the platform and I put this video out and you've got people saying, people are laughing in my DMs telling me, what have I just watched? And I just said, we keep it moving. So as far as that is concerned with the videos, when it comes to support, I don't make money off Twitter or anything on my podcast because I've got approached by some people in the past before to like sponsor and stuff like that. But for me, it's not about the money because obviously I'm a student and obviously I work as well. So for me, it's not important. Obviously, maybe I could make some peas off it later on in the future. But when it comes to supporting, it's just to keep watching the content. And if you enjoy it, you let me know you enjoy it. If you find something off of it, you let me know because I respond to everybody. I put out a video yesterday, so like 40,000 views now. I got over 500 comments. I responded to quite a massive chunk of that. How many people respond to my 500 comments? So it's just about people commenting, letting me know what they like, what they don't like, and I keep on doing my thing. That's how I am.
People's champ. Let's go. People's champ. There we go. Hey, greatness is embracing the people, man. I love it, Dami, and keep going. So there we go, guys. Go and we all of the handles will be at the bottom every now and then as we go. But let's get into business. I mean, we're not here to make a sandwich. We're here to talk serious stuff. We're here to talk serious stuff. And, Chelsea, a great football club. I fell in love when I got to watch Gianfranco Zola. My God, it's been 24 years now. So I'm getting on. Wow. 24 years or 23 years later, here I am at 34 and still supporting this football club that has given me heart attacks, but the best years of my life, really. So what is it about Chelsea for you? When did the journey start with Chelsea? How did it come about? Because, I mean, when we were young, it was Man United everywhere, but you chose Chelsea. Take us into it.
Oh, that's an interesting. Out of your womb, he's a Chelsea fan. So I got jerseys before I was born. They didn't even know what my sexuality was. They didn't know if I was a man or a woman. They bought me jerseys. So I still have those jerseys. I still have them back at my parents' house and everything. So,
he was wild. Zola Live was just wild, a thrill. But let's take it forward a bit. We're where we are now. And of course, now Marina and your guy Roman, my guy Roman, Auntie. I've always said best owner in the history of the... Hey, come on.
Auntie.
Yeah,
Auntie.
Get into it.
Marina,
She's something else, huh?
No, I'm just gassed up because as we record, as this is live, everyone that's watching now, Chilwell has just been announced. That's the first official club signing. The whole world has known about. If you're a Chelsea fan, we're signing Benjamin Chilwell. We're signing Thiago Silva. We're signing Kai Havertz. And we're signing Sarr. So all those 4 players, we've just been waiting for them this week. I put out all sorts of silly things. I even put out a video yesterday about being Roman Abramovich's secretary or something along those, or something very ridiculous. Oh God! But at the end of the day, it's just. Have you seen that already?
The Nigerian. Hey, when I say I'm a supporter, I don't do things half-half. I'm not that.
Oh.
I don't say to people, I'm not going to gas you up if you're not my guy. I don't do supporting and trying to. That's not me. I wouldn't have got in touch if I wasn't. I'm all in. I watch I'm a huge fan, bro. I'm in.
That.
I'm all in. It's hilarious. Roman Abramovich, by the way, go and check Dami's Twitter out because he's talking about Roman Abramovich having like a Nigerian assistant or like an admin guy. It is out of this world hilarious. Are you Nigerian English, or because your accent is on?
The thing with the accent is a lot of people keep, and I got a lot of bashing in my, I got quite some bashing in my comments as well for the accent, and I actually had to follow up with a proper, because I needed to make sure people say I understand it at the end. You get right at the talk. So person needs to, you will need to understand I can blend the two. I can speak like someone from up here, up in the UK, and I can speak like a proper born Nigerian, because I was born in Nigeria, and as you can see, I can also switch up on the accent. I don't always need to be on the British accent. But the thing is, since I have fans from the US, I've got fans from the UK, I've got fans from India, I've got fans from Nigeria, I've got fans from all over the world. So for me to come out and put content that doesn't have, what's it called? For me to put out content that isn't, I could have done it strictly for the Nigerian audience, but I don't think that's fair, if you know what I mean. So that's what it is. But yeah, I am Nigerian. I am Nigerian, full Nigerian, but I've lived in the UK for quite some time. So, and I always used to come up to the UK when I was a little child. I came up every year, multiple times a year. I lived in London and everything. So that's why the accent is a bit on the. That's why I have it basically. Yeah, but I can speak like a proper Nigerian person. There we go.
I bego. That like our guys here. That's the one. That's the one. That's the one we got with all of my Nigerian friends. That's the one that gets me going. Before we get into it, hey, that afro is out of this world. Talk to me about that. How long has that been going? It is mental.
Wow, people always ask me about my hair. I don't even know what else to say anymore with this hair. Because like when it comes to my hair, I don't do too much for it. I've had it for. I grew this out in 2019. Then I cut it all off because my hair grows really, really quickly. I'm fortunate enough because on my mom's side, the hair on her side grows. I got my mom's hair basically. So it's not like a mixture of my mom's hair with my dad's, but I took the quick and soft growth because my hair is really soft. A lot of people think it's firm. So, and like when I actually walk outside, like when it's windy, my hair, if I comb it out long enough, then it just blows up and down. So this afro, nothing serious, it's just simple shampoo, conditioner, and then my trusty comb, and then we're good. So that's really all it is. Nothing special.
Listen, lots of people out there wondering how to get good hair. It's got to be the Nigerian jollof, because I know, listen, my Ghanaian friends and my Nigerian friends, it's always the battle, right? That jollof conversation that can really get heated. So maybe the Nigerian jollof, if you don't want to lose your hair, maybe that's where it is. I'm not saying it is. I'm not a scientist. But maybe that's what it is. Okay, there we go.
I'm not drag anybody.
All right, listen, let's get into it. Talk to me about this season, 1920, because we got lots of exciting things happening now. But when you saw, okay, Hazard's gone. Oh no, a couple of weeks later, transfer ban. Be honest with me. What do you think Chelsea were going to do last season? What were your expectations? And as the season went, what did you think in reality would happen with Chelsea last season?
Expectation 6 to 10. I tweeted it out. I said it. I told everybody, I said, look, I'm not expecting anything mad. Obviously, Daddy Eden left. I said, you know what? He was basically half of our goal production for the whole of last season, which is a ridiculous statistic. And then we came in with Frank Lampard, who obviously I love Frank. He's my favorite player besides Didier and a few other players. He's my favorite player, and I just looked at the situation. I said, look, this is his second year in management, and he's already managing Chelsea, and he doesn't have like world-class players, because I don't really want to go on to slandering certain players at the club, but it didn't look good. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't confident. It's not like I wasn't confident because I was trying to be realistic. Do you know what I mean? Us finishing fourth this season for me was out of this world. I'm not an Arsenal fan who comes in celebrating.
Tied third.
Sorry, goal difference. There we go. But like at the end of the day, for me, I was just like, I thought we were going to finish 10th. Honest to God, I thought we were going to finish like somewhere 6th, 7th. I wasn't expecting Champions League position this season. So the fact that we've done that was absolutely mental in my books. But like when you go back to the start of the season and we started playing really, really well and everything, I kept telling people, I said, yo, listen, that's not how it's going to be from the start to finish. We've got all these young boys and everything. You've got Max of Mason Mount. You've got Tammy Abraham. All these lot. They're very young, okay? And they're going to have ups and downs. And they should. You know what I mean? Tammy was banging in the first half of the season. Next half of the season, people are calling him Bambi on Ice. Do you know what I mean? So you've got all these different names and stuff that people... Well, yeah, it's true. That's what they called him on the timeline. They called everybody all sorts of different names. Well, at the end of the day, when we pulled through and got the tied third position on the table, I was really happy. Really happy. So... as far as like all these transfers and stuff that are happening right now, it's a great time to be a Chelsea fan. Everybody else is just watching us cry. Honestly, they're all crying. That's what it is. I've got people in my
We're not
mentions
the same.
complaining and everything. We are not the same. We are not here to play around. We are here to take over. Do you understand? Nothing less. Nothing less. We are here to take over. Nothing less. Oh.
Madness, dude. I have to say, I have to agree there. So while we're on the Tammy Abraham thing, now that I know you're a Nigerian guy, I mean, did he just stop eating jollof, and was he eating that pasta diet, or was he eating pizzas in the second half of the season? Or what was going on there? Because I'm the first thing I said as soon as I saw him starting to slip, I said, get some better quality goat, put it in the guy's jollof, and let's get him back on it. Because Tammy, what's going on there? Or do you just think as a youngster it's difficult to be consistent?
Oh, I mean, this is his first proper season in the top flight of the English Premier League. I think I wasn't expecting great things from anybody. And an issue I've always found with like football, especially with Chelsea fans, and this has happened in the last 2 seasons, is when you start off to a really good start, people tend to forget what they thought at the start of the season. Everybody thought Sarri himself last season, I mean the season before this one that just ended, Sarri was like, this is going to be a process, it's going to take some time to bring this football to life. And we started the first 8, 9, 10 games, and I think we won all of them. I can't really remember, but we played really, really well those games. But when stuff went downhill, people started cussing and abusing and saying Sarri out and all sorts of stuff. Same thing with Frank's Tricky Blues. So obviously we started off playing really well. I know we got battered by United. That was atrocious. But like obviously we like started playing really well and like stuff picked up. Tammy was scoring hat tricks. He scored goals every game and stuff like that. And then fatigue kicked in. These men were playing every game. Do you know what I mean? They were playing every single game that came. Like it wasn't even like they were getting the rest. It's not like, oh, I played 3 games and then take the next one off. They were playing every single game. Mason Mount played 95% of all the games Chelsea played this season. Do you know what I mean? So Tammy got injured. He had an injury. He got rushed back from his injury. Had to start playing again. You know what I mean? So when you add all those things up, it was really, really expected for me. So I can't understand the frustrations, obviously, with Tammy, because he's a tall, big guy. I mean, he's not big, but he's a tall guy. And you expect him to win headers. You'd expect him to be more strong, a lot stronger, winning the ball and everything. Yeah. But as the season went on, things just became a bit difficult for them. And they're youngsters, so I was expecting that, to be very honest with you.
And I think, you've taken me to a great point now, is we've seen Chelsea, give us real value. For me as a Chelsea fan, is I loved winning titles, obviously in Mourinho's first era and continuously since then, Carlo, etc., etc. I don't need to go on about it. But something for me where I took serious value this season, I honestly, and I know this might sound crazy because I'm full on about the banter, but I honestly didn't care where we came this season when I saw him playing Tomori. I count Zuma as a homegrown player, even though he isn't really. We bought him really young. Yeah. I saw Christensen. I saw Reece. And then I think the best of the lot this season proved to be Mount, Abraham, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, of course, that Achilles just never quite came right, Hudson-Odoi. I took such joy in seeing Chelsea, and what it told me was Abramovich is here for the long run, because all of we know we've been killing everyone in the juniors. And my criticism has always been, why do we always let Chalobah go? We always let these guys go. They've been slating everyone in the Champions League youth, the super Premier League with the kids. So now to see our own producing results in the first team jersey, that's the nirvana for any football fan, isn't it? What's it been like? Honestly, it's been as good as winning a title for me to watch our own. I didn't care about Champions League as much as I cared about our own. Listen, within reason, but the joy of seeing these guys is equal to qualifying for the Champions League for me. What are your thoughts on that? How important is that for you and for it to continue?
It's very important. The thing is, like, we are blessed by circumstance. That's what I tell a lot of people. It's not even just about, because if you think about it, the board has not really had a proper direction for this youth setup for a long time. Let's be really, really honest. All the board was, even if they did, it was bring in talented players, let them go out on loan, let everybody see what's going on. Bring them in for cheap amounts, sell them off. That's what it always was about, in my eyes. Yeah. Now, this season, they knew that expecting ridiculous things was not on the books. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously, no transfer window, lost your best player and stuff like that. And obviously, this team, prior to the youth players being injected into it, was just it was players from Sarri's style, players from Conte's style, players from Mourinho's style. It was just a mess. It was a complete mess. So the integration of the youth for me was very important. And I had a guest on my podcast as well that really shined very good light on this. A lot of these players are actually going to be here for the long term. Whether they're going to start for the next 10 decades at Chelsea FCs, I don't know. Because everybody knows I love Mason Mount. I feel like he's probably going to be able to do it. But at the end of the day, we need players that can build a proper spine for this club. And that's why all these signings we're getting are relatively young individuals. People are telling me Kai Havertz is going to block Mason Mount. That's not going to happen. We're going to play so many games next season. We're going to play 70 plus games next season. It's very difficult to play sports every single week, like 2-3 games a week. It's ridiculous. Do you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, when I saw all these players being introduced this season, and like even the players that were all on before we saw the likes of Billy Gilmore, I was speaking about Gilmore before people wanted to speak about Gilmore. Do you know what I mean? So, but the fact that I finally saw him on the pitch and he bossed, this man dismantled. Who did dismantle against Liverpool? Do you remember that game? I think.
I do remember that game.
Oh, I can't remember what his name is. He dismantled him. Yeah, do you know what I mean? So for
Don't
me,
tell
it's
me on
just
Gilmore.
like,
Don't tell me on Gilmore. He's the guy. 18. Unbelievable.
Exactly, but at the end of the day, like you see what I mean with these guys, they are clearly talented, but we need all these signings so that it cannot balance out. Gilmore was fantastic for some of the games he played, but because of fatigue, injury, and age, and this is his first time playing top flight football. This is even like he hasn't gone out on loan, nothing. He's going to drop in performance some of those games. So for me, this season was a real eye opener. I hope it's something we can. I don't feel like we're going to see too much introduction from the academy next season because of all the signings we have, and the direction of the club is going to change, obviously, because what we've got Kai Havertz, we've got Timo Werner, we've got Hakim Ziyech, we've got Ben Chilwell. We're going to get a goalkeeper as well. We're going to get a centre back. We're going to get Thiago Silva. We're getting so many players, okay, so many players. And you're not really going to have the chance to integrate all these young players into the squad. The new set, like the ones beneath the likes of your Reece James and everything. So it's just going to create this really nice mesh that could probably last at the bridge for another 5-6 years. So I'm looking forward to it. And I really did enjoy what I saw this season, to be very honest with you.
And so I like what you're saying, but before we get into the good news and, the good news that's coming out now, Chilwell, of course, just signed. Let's get into something you just touched on there, which interests me, is, a lot of people have said back Lampard and back the project. And for me, I thought the project was, we're going to stick with the kids. Is there, and you did touch on it a little bit with the Havertz Mount battle, but, I love Silva. This doesn't reduce, just like I said with James Anderson, I don't want to take away from his achievements and the legendary status that he is. He is nothing short of a legendary defender. I mean, to take over from Lucio and go and match Lucio's legacy in Brazil and in Europe, that's next level. But when you look at him coming in, what does that mean for Zuma? What does that mean for Tomori? What does that mean for Christensen? Who are those kids that I so love? Is this Lampard saying, actually, I was just doing it because I was forced to? Or is he saying, I want to win now? Because for me, I wonder, when you bring these guys in, should we not be saying, we don't mind if Tomori makes 5 or 6 mistakes, but we'll build for 3 years. And then when we win with Tomori, it's going to be 5 years in a row. Because when he's a man, because they're already talking about him going to Wolves, and it worries me now. We still got Rudiger in there, and I saw your video about what Grandpa Rudiger can do after making the signings. But once again, we move into. Listen, we got front with your guy, Tammy Abraham. There's a very real situation right now. At the moment, he's not Thibaut Timo, right? Thibaut Timo. He's not going to be Giroud. Giroud has shown that he's clever with the ball to chest and he's able to hold it up, but he can also run off the shoulder and is a decent finisher, as we saw in the semi-final of that goal against United in the semis. Showed you Giroud's not just put it to my chest, put it to my feet. He can also run in behind and finish. So, and that tremendous goal against Wolves as well. So, do you think we are going to stunt Tammy Abraham? Because he's going to be our third option up front, realistically. What do we do about that situation? And is Lampard going off his plan, or do you think, like you say, 70 games, there'll be enough food to go around for everyone to eat?
That's a lot of stuff to take in. And like at the end of the day, like people, I actually did, because obviously apart from the jokey videos as well, I do put out some really serious ones. And I spoke a bit about the situation actually. And I said, it's survival of the fittest. And I don't know if you've seen that African meme of that bald guy that goes, tough times never last. only tough people last. I don't know if you've seen that before. Yeah, you've
He's
seen
South
it. You've seen it.
Hey,
Oh my
hey,
days, is he?
Yeah, no,
Oh
he's
my
our
days.
guy.
Are you joking?
No, he's our guy.
Wow.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I didn't. I
Demi,
had no
Demi.
idea, you know.
Oh, Demi,
yeah, there we go. There we go. I had-
Top time never lasts. Only top people do. That's our guy.
Exactly. So like that thing, I used it on one of my videos, and I said, "You like listen, like at the end of the day, look at the competition next season. Obviously, that sent that backline. Okay, let's take this in there. Let's take this going forward. So, like you mentioned with Thiago Silva at the start, you said obviously you're going to block off the likes of Christians, you're going to block off the likes of Zuma, you're going to block off the likes of who am I forgetting? Tomori as well. So those three players, obviously you've got Daddy Rudiger is going to be, I think he's going to tiptoe his way out of Stamford Bridge. But like for me, that back line needs some solidity. Do you know what I mean? It was too young, and like you can't really have. They are not. I mean, they can learn from their mistakes, but obviously it's a 3-year plan, and the club are obviously going to be expecting Lampard to challenge for the title next season. I mean, not next season. I mean the season after next. So this is 2020, 2021. So the next season, the third year of Lampard's tenure. Basically, that's what the club are really expecting Lampard to go out and like win some like the Premier League and stuff like that. So with all these players, it's all about when you get your opportunity, you need to shine. Lampard this first season, it was a combination of okay, you guys are going to. I believe in you guys because let's be real. Lampard had enough players in the senior 11 to play enough games. You know what I mean? Obviously, a lot of them are not that good, but he could have completely disregarded you because we only really lost in Hazard. Remember, we got in Pulisic and we got in Kovacic as on the permanent as well. So at the end of the day, you could have really disregarded a lot of these youth players. But like I keep telling people, it's not just because let's put it real. If you had a transfer window, we wouldn't have really seen this much youth integration. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't even think we would have seen
100%.
Frank Lampard. I don't even think we would have seen Frank Lampard simply because at the end of the day, all the other managers that come into the squad, their priority is to win trophies immediately, and that's what the board are wanting. Do you get what I mean? So when you say likes of Kai Havertz are going to block Mason Mount, it's not really about that. It's about Mason. When you get your chance, you need to make sure that Lampard's going to have a selection headache. Do you know what I mean? That's why I keep telling people. People tell me that, oh, Tammy's finished. I'm just like, relax. This man scored 15 goals, no penalties. He scored 15 goals in the first half of the season on his ones. Do you know what I mean? This is his first professional. This is his first time in the top flights playing for one of the top clubs in England. That's a fantastic feat. So obviously Giroud's ahead of him, Werner's ahead of him. That's not even at the moment. That's how things are. But what we need to see is when Tammy Abraham comes onto the pitch, he's bowling. Do you know what I mean? We're not trying to see him falling down. If he's going to keep on doing that for each opportunity he gets, he's going to get pushed up. It's as simple as that. So that's just how things are going to be next season. As far as I'm concerned, it's just going to be Lampard is going to be like, listen, boys, I gave you guys the opportunity to show everybody at Stamford Bridge what you're about. Next season, nobody is all about your hard work. And if I don't like what you're doing on the pitch, I've got ballers because Havertz is not going to come to the club and sit down on the bench. Do you know what I mean? So like all these Ruben Loftus-Cheek, people tell me that, oh, next season is his season. If he doesn't pattern up, he's done. Do you know what I mean? It's not even me playing around. He's 24 years old. So you've got, I think you get what I'm trying to say. Like all of these guys have to fight for their place. It's not even about, nobody's playing around next season because times have changed. Times have really changed.
Oh, I can just hear Man United fans bubbling up because they got Fred to rotate with Matic. We fleeced them for 29 mil for Matic. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? So they're going to bring we're going to be bringing Havertz and Ruben Loftus-Cheek off the bench, and they're bringing McTominay on. That's the world we're living in. Arsenal are bringing on Reece Nelson. That's their options. Like, hey, talk to me about Arsenal.
About Arsenal, man. Arsenal is
they're done. Fam. Why are people still talking about Arsenal?
Their club are sacking players. They're sacking. Like they can't even. Like honestly, if you go to Arsenal Stadium next season and the lights are on, I think you should be happy because that club is finished. I'm telling you. I don't think they can pay for electricity next season. They're a done club. Honest to God, because it doesn't make sense. Imagine having a whole-blown establishment, a whole-blown football establishment, okay? These lot sacked 50-plus people that are probably fans. They sacked 50-plus people, and they got in Willian. Are you mad? On a good contract for 4 years. Oh, God. No. I don't even like chatting about Arsenal because it's just a waste of my time. Honestly. They're finished establishments. They've got their fans watching YouTube videos to build up ad money for signings. Are you crazy? Nah, that club is done. That club is done. It's done. We did it there, Maji. We did it there.
Oh my God. Oh man, that is quality stuff. All right, let's get to the good news because Roman and Marina, we know what they've done. Talk to me about where you're excited. I think Ziyech and Werner, they've been here now. I think anybody who's still excited about that hasn't been on planet Earth for a while. But talk to me about Silva. Are you excited? Do you feel that leadership is going to take us into, like, maybe we were thinking 3-4, maybe now we're going top 2. Do you think Silva takes us there?
Oh, the thing is, at the moment, this thing is, I'm still thinking, I still don't have like a firm 100% opinion on this whole situation, simply because with any other person I've gotten all these signings, okay, I'm expecting them to win the league. But I'm not expecting Frank Lampard to win the league next season because Manchester City and Liverpool are eons above everybody else. It's not even up for debate. Next season for me, I feel like, I'm not putting off winning the league. I feel like it's something that we could sneak in and do. Imagine if the team gels really quickly and everything. I think we can put on the title race next season, but I'm not going to put them and force it on the club. I want to see improvements. So what this Silva signing does for me is that back line, because I don't know if you remember, or when we watch the games and then you see the opposition taking corners. I think we conceded 1 goal from every 10 corners we conceded, which is it's a stupid statistic. So obviously you've got Thiago Silva on there. He's not the fastest player, but that leadership both on and off the pitch. I mean, Azpilicueta is a fantastic servant to the club and he's a fantastic captain. But he's one of those players where it's like they lead by example. Do you know what I mean? You can have someone that leads by how they behave and their professionalism. But Thiago Silva is going to lead. Like, he's going to come in, he's going to shout. He's also going to lead by example. But he's going to tell people what to do. If Rudiger comes in dancing around like a clown on the pitch, he's going to tell him to pattern up. Do you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, exactly. So at the end of the day, for me, Thiago Silva is going to be really, really, really important next season. A lot of people might feel he's on the older side and he can't really run. I'm playing the high line, but despite he probably might make mistakes. I mean, he's on the older side, but I definitely am expecting a lot from Thiago Silva next season. I'm really excited for that one. I must be honest.
Wow, interesting. Let's go to the right. You've mentioned something interesting there with the captaincy. I think Azpilicueta is in an interesting situation because between you and me, I think Reece James is our starting right back. James has shown me now that he's an animal. Like he's just one of those wunderkinds where I don't care about age. If you're good enough, you're old enough. And Reece James. So some people didn't see him at Wigan. He was unbelievable at defensive mid for Wigan, their player of the season. And now what I've seen with the guy at right back, there's nothing he can't do, right? He's an unbelievable animal physically. One-on-one, he gets back, he tucks in almost like Fonzo Davies. Yeah. And then going forward, what he's got even over Davies, because Davies is out of this world, right, on the left. I think the athleticism is bad. Reece James gives you that deep delivery. He almost has that Beckham style. He doesn't need to beat his man to put high-quality delivery, which is why... as much as I do like Tammy, I was a little disappointed with the service that Reece was constantly putting in, especially from deep. I was hoping for a bit more. But Reece James has put us in a dilemma. What do you do about Azpilicueta now? Because as you said, he leads by example. Is he our second option?
Bro, there's no dilemma here. He's like, there's no dilemma, honest to God. Like, Azpilicueta, for me, if anything, Marcus Alonso and Emerson are out. Those two are out. As far as I'm concerned, like, I've spoken to some people. I know Emerson is out. Emerson is 100% out. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get rid of Alonso this season. But Azpilicueta, I don't see him playing too much right back next season. Do you know what I mean? And he's not the kind of player that's going to complain if he sits on the bench either. So he's either going to be playing on that left-hand side as a backup to Ben Chilwell, which we'll probably talk about later on. I don't know if the club are going to promote Ian Martin. But next season, it's not even up for debate. It's not up for debate. This season, he played really well. He played really well this season. But if Reece James steps up properly next season, because Reece James obviously played well sometimes. And like I said, all these youth players, they all dipped at one point in time. And Reece James wasn't too fantastic towards the end of the season. But if Martin steps correct next season, Azpilicueta is curtains, man. Honest to God, it's curtains.
It is. Look, I love Azpilicueta, as you said, but Reece James has just shown me he is a different kind of animal. Hey, talk to me about another interesting figure in the Premier League, because this guy's name, whenever you say it, and he doesn't play for Chelsea, but Paul Pogba, is it time to accept now that he's a better Instagram star than a footballer, or do you think he gets too much of a hard time? Because honestly, I've gone over this on the show. It's 4 seasons now where the only thing I know about Paul Pogba, 100%, is that he's going to have a big injury every season. And for me, I always say availability is the greatest ability. I don't care how good you are. If you can't give me 30 Premier League games a season, I don't care how good you are. That's not going to work, because you can't take me to the promised land if you can't play 30 games. But is Paul Pogba, in your mind, astronomical talent, or is there more hype job there than actual ability? What is your honest opinion there?
The thing with Pogba is because of his attitude. Pogba, yeah, Pogba is a fantastic player. Honestly, I can't even begin. I'll probably have United fans are probably going to listen to this and tell me, "Oh, you've confessed." I've never denied him being a fantastic player. Okay, but my issue with Pogba is if you want to manage Pogba, you need to have a big person in charge of him. Do you know what I mean? Mourinho can pattern him up. Maybe Lampard can pattern him up. Conte can pattern him up. But you've got a PE teacher at United. He's not going to do anything to Pogba. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, Pogba gets injured and everything frequently. But when Pogba steps onto the pitch and wants to play, when he wants to play ball, like when Pogba steps onto the pitch and he wants to play ball, he's almost unbeatable, honestly. So I feel like I do agree with you. I think the consistency is no longer there with Pogba, but no, man. I think he needs to move on from United personally. I don't think United are the right club for him at the moment. I don't know who would probably take him up and can afford to take him up, but he's not cutting at United for me. But there's still a player there. And when that player comes out, and when he steps onto the pitch, he's unplayable. He's really unplayable.
See, you're talking about an interesting situation, and I've said on the show before, is that, you know, you get divorced the first time from a great wife. Okay, maybe it's her, she's the problem. The second time a good woman says no to you, okay, maybe it just circumstances didn't work out. Maybe she had kids from a previous relationship that didn't work. When another big club says no to you, your second divorce in life, that's a you problem, because now Juventus could have kept him under that Allegri thing. Everyone says the money, Juventus have got big money, right? Is they said, all right, you've got a number. Like Barcelona aren't letting go of Leo Messi in his prime, right? Let's not talk about now, but in his prime. Man United, Ronaldo in his prime. Is Juventus let him go without really a fight? I mean, it was a big number, but it wasn't like, oh, we really, you know, they caused havoc for him to leave. If he leaves Man United now, I think he becomes that guy, like, it's not about the clubs anymore. It's about him. He must have a problem. Football people, the top clubs, they don't let the top guys go. If you're the guy, I don't mean a guy, the guy. And I worry for Pogba long term, because the only place he can go is PSG, and then his career is over, because I don't think PSG should be taken seriously as a football club. But maybe I'm wrong. I just this Pogba guy, I don't know, man. I don't know, and I'm so sad for him. I think for me he's really Robinho with a World Cup.
Oh man, it's like Pogba's situation is really interesting. I must confess, I just feel there's still a player there. Do you know what I mean? There's still a player there. There were some games for United last season, some passes that he made. Good Lord, I had to be like, yo, because the majority of my fans are Chelsea. I've got some fans from United, I've got some fans from Arsenal. I had to be like, yo, no, this guy is something else. But I do understand what you mean. Like, for example, you can look at like Icardi now. Icardi left, was it Inter Milan recently? I think it was Inter Milan. He left recently, wasn't it? And then he went to PSG and he was out. Is it PSG? He went to PSG, right? My guy's on the bench. Do you know what I mean? And that's a mentality thing. That's his mentality. And that is,
But they brought on Choupo-Moting, who was at Stoke, by the way, 2 seasons ago, in front of Icardi. That's what we're talking about. Yeah.
It's bad. Do you know what I mean? So like, at the end of the day, all these men, okay, I mean, Icardi has himself and his wife. That's another discussion for another day. But at the end of the day, with Pogba as well, like, she's such a pest. Oh my God. He's like, you know, he's trying to kill a mosquito.
Maxi Lopez, that was Maxi Lopez's wife.
You know, you're trying to kill a mosquito and it just doesn't die. Like when you try and hit her and it just keeps flying up and down. Oh God, let me not even get into too much about that lady. But at the end of the day with Pogba, it's such a unique situation. His attitude, I think he has one more proper chance in football. I think a lot of people might think I'm waffling on here, but when I mean proper chance, I'm not saying, because I want it to be very clear that the player himself, Pogba, is a fantastic individual when it comes to playing football. When it comes to being on the pitch, obviously he's got mad haircuts. When it comes to being on the pitch, oh Jesus is Lord. When Pogba comes to play football, he's there to play football. And I can't really think of too many midfielders that can outboss Pogba on his day. Do you know what I mean? But I don't think he needs to sort of pattern up, and I think he needs the sort of I don't know. I really don't know what he needs right now. But maybe a new club is what he needs. But nah, it's a finicky situation. I must be honest.
Yeah, listen, it's not a great situation, and we'll see, man. We'll see about this. And listen, here's a comment about your guy Icardi you were just talking about. So for those who don't know the situation, former teammate, Argentine colleague, Icardi, right, was, and this is true, he was the best man at Maxi Lopez's wedding with the wife. That woman is now Icardi's wife. They're like, this is the type of guy you're talking about. Listen, talent's not enough. Sometimes it's about character, and I'm starting to worry about Paul Pogba. But okay, let's not kick a man while he's down. He's doing enough of that himself. Talk to me about the good signings that have come. Chilwell today. What's positive about Chilwell? And are you apprehensive at all about the Chilwell signing? Does he give you anything that Alonso doesn't? Where's the upgraded left back over Alonso?
My grandma she's 67. She's an upgrade on Alonso. So like, let's not even anybody's an upgrade on Marcus Alonso. Let's be real. So for me, like this signing, I'm not the biggest fan. And I made 2 videos on the Ben Chilwell. I put out one just a couple like an hour or 2 ago, and I said, you know what, listen. At the end of the day, with this man, the positives of this signing are obviously he's an English left back and he's familiar with the Premier League. That's one of the positives. And the major positive for me is the fact that Frank Lampard is getting what he wants. We've always had this thing at Chelsea where the manager doesn't get backed the way we'd want them to, and like you feel like you just feel like it's going to prevent them from getting stuff done, if you know what I mean. But now he's got what he wants. He's gotten his man. Obviously, I saw some fancy left backs in Spain. I saw some fancy left backs in Portugal. But at the end of the day, for me, Chilwell, and someone is asking for an honest opinion on Chilwell, I pray to God he pulls through. I really do pray to God he pulls through, because if he doesn't, I'll be one of the first people on him. Like I keep telling people, these men, when they put on that Chelsea jersey, they are playing for your club. And if they mess up, they are messing up your club. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to back him. Once he comes on the pitch, I'm going to back him. Same way if Marcus Alonso steps onto the pitch, I back him. But if he should not play well, if he doesn't play well in our first 6 months, I'm going to be one of the first people on him. Do you know what I mean? Because he was not my priority. A lot of people make this mistake and say, oh, like you've got people like saying that this player is going to be a fantastic player, this player is going to be all these ex-players. They get it wrong too. I'm no professional. I don't have a UEFA B license. I don't have any of that. But from my perspective, and everybody's entitled to their opinion, I don't see what's special about Chilwell. Do you know what I mean? But I hope he does do well. But honest to God, I keep saying that, and I'll say it on here as well. If he messes up, I'll be one of the first people on him. But I'm excited he signed. Let me say that.
Listen, my statement is very similar to yours. I back Lampard, but I did not want Chilwell from the beginning. I want to be very clear, because I know a lot of people hate Marcus Alonso, but he gives you delivery at the end of the pitch. Alonso is really like a left forward, right? He's like a B-Tech Marcelo, like the Brazilian Marcelo. You know, because Marcelo really gives you production at the other side. Chilwell, I really, especially what Mahrez did to him. I'm not sure if you watched that game when they played Man City against Leicester. It exposed everything that's a problem with Chilwell, and that's the games you need him. Because, you know, one thing people must realize about Chelsea now is when you have Ziyech, Havertz, Timo Werner, all of the teams against Chelsea are now going to be 5 yards, 10 yards back. That improves the team immediately, because now you have probably an extra touch on the ball purely because now there's killers on the team. You know, that's just a natural thing. And then also Ziyech can keep the ball. Pulisic can keep the ball. And now Pulisic isn't giving it to Ross Barkley. He's giving it to Havertz. So he knows he's going to get it back. And what that means is that the back line can squeeze up, because Chelsea will go from a 48% possession team to a 55% possession team. For me, I really worry that Chilwell, when we need him, Liverpool, Real Madrid, Barcelona, that's when we need him. We're not going to need him against most of the teams in the world, because now we've got top quality technical players. Is Chilwell, when we need him, isn't going to be an upgrade necessarily on Alonso, because the defense is it much better than Alonso? I know Alonso is not great, but I have my fears. But like you say, maybe, like you said, hey, Lampard, you wanted him. You've got your guy now. Let's get on it. Hey, let's do one more guy where there's big hype. Where I want to say right now, I am not on this train. I am off this train completely. Declan Rice, what is the hype?
Oh, bro, let me give you a little backstory on this Declan Rice thing. So obviously, the first time this Declan Rice rumors came up, man, bro, I went on a live stream and I absolutely dismantled that guy. God, I regret doing that, but I absolutely dismantled him. I must be very honest with you, because for me, Declan Rice, I've always said he's a good player, okay, and Declan Rice does the basic things really, really well. Do you know what I mean? He can receive the ball, he can pass it off, he can get all those different things done. If you get what I mean. So at the time, I thought we were going to play a different style of football, but as the season progressed and it looked like Lampard wanted to play 4-3-3 with 2 offensive eights and like someone like a DM to play in that middle position, that is when the Declan Rice thing started making more sense to me, simply because of that switch in tactics and everything. As a centre-back, a lot of people are gassing up as centre-back. Obviously, I like Declan Rice now. He's grown on me personally, but as a centre-back, I really don't see I don't get that logic. Do you know what I mean? I don't know why people want to make sense. I'd rather much have him as a defensive midfielder, because at the end of the day, if he's going to play as a DM, all he needs to do is pick up the ball and get like he does and do what he's known for, what he's good at that DM position. Do you know what I'm saying? So Declan Rice, yeah. But another thing I must mention, as much as I like Declan Rice, he shouldn't be stupidly overpriced. Do you know what I mean? He shouldn't be 80 million. I'm not paying 80 million for Declan Rice. Obviously, if he signs for 80 million, I'll be happy we got the player because it's Declan. But Jesus is Lord, bro. I would not be happy about that fee. Do you know what I mean? I would really not be happy about that fee. So
I don't get the hype, because my thing about Declan Rice is, if he was such a good centre-back, surely he would have been West Ham centre-back. Because if his best position is centre-back and he's not good enough to get into the West Ham side as a CB and he needs to be used in a more functional role for his athleticism at DM, why are we getting him as a centre-back? That's not an upgrade. There's no West Ham player I want in my team.
I mean, at the end of, because he used to play in the Chelsea academy and all of that. At the end of the day, and like as a centre back, the thing is with this centre back thing as well. A lot of people told me he's played centre back more than DM. I don't understand where all this stuff comes from. Some people, like I said, I can't really disclose. I speak to some people. Do you know what I mean? I speak to people that know Declan Rice, and some people are just like, he didn't really play centre back, so I don't know where it's really come from. The games he has played as centre back for West Ham have been really, really been good. Do you know what I mean? They have been really, really good from what I've watched, okay? But he still does get spun. I can't forget when Ruben Loftus-Cheek spun this man around like what? It's like he was making cotton candy. It was honestly ridiculous. You know what I mean? I can't forget that. I don't know if you saw that game. He spun him around so many times. Like, it was ridiculous. Well, I don't even know, like, when you're like making, like, all those like swallow, like those soups, you're like, that's what you done to him. Yeah, exactly. They mixed him around so much. So, like, at the end of the day, for me, he's a player that, because now this thing with Declan is I now like the player. Do you know what I mean? I like the person behind the player at the end of the day. I'm not saying he's good, he's spectacular, but I feel like with the leadership qualities that he has and like growth under Lampard or having to be with his best friend at the club would sort of help him out long term. And I feel like if he's going to be put in the system that I think he's going to be put in as a defensive midfielder, he'd be a good signing. Do you know what I mean? That's what I feel. Centre back for me, I'm still like, Kilo de Bobaisha, as in what's going on? Do you understand? But like whatever, like
I like that.
Like whatever.
Hey, you can't hold that Nigerian down forever. I like that it came out there a bit.
You can't. So like for me,
let's go.
I'm just like, nah. It just I would take him, but like, that centre back position is just my only issue. But I take Declan Rice, but I understand you not wanting Declan Rice because I didn't want Declan Rice at one point in time as well.
At what number though? I'm sorry, anything above 30 for me, and I'm having stomach aches.
The thing is,
I'm having genuine stomach aches.
These British players are really expensive. I think Chilwell is 50 million plus at minus, excluding add-ons. I don't know why Ben Chilwell cost 50 million pounds. Honest to God, like I know why, but it doesn't make sense to my eyes. Do you know what I mean? Leicester have simply bamboozled the whole of the Premier League. Obviously, they sold that fridge to Manchester United for 80 million. And like, at the end of the day, like all these men, like I don't understand how they're getting so much money for these people. I think because of their nationality. And I'm not saying that's a particularly bad thing. I know there's British tax on British players, but for me, really, really, I know you're going to scream. You're probably not going to agree with me, but Declan Rice, I would be like maybe 45, 50, nothing more. Because if we can do, I know it's a lot of money. I agree. I'm not even going to come and try and back that. but I would take it. I would, you know, when your mom gives you food you don't really like, but you're hungry and you just take it. Yeah, that's how I don't like. Yeah, all right, no worries. Do you know what I'm saying? But anything more than that is a bit of a mad one.
Hey, Jorginho is one of the worst players I've ever seen. Why is he still at Chelsea?
Oh, we're going to fight, my G. I love Jorginho.
No, here's my thing about Jorginho, right? Here, all right, let me qualify what I'm saying. So his quality is supposed to be ball retention and tempo control, right? Does he give me enough of that? Because the only problem for me is that on the counter attack, and I believe it's why Chelsea conceded so many goals, is when they counter attack against Chelsea is you blow straight by him. So the amount of game control he gives me versus his poor defensive ability he's not Paul Scholes enough to not be able to defend at all and have no physicality. So I need what he gives me to his downside to be closer. And I'm afraid people just blow by him in the Premier League, and I can't work with it. He doesn't do enough for me. Not when I've got Gilmore. Not when I've got. I mean, honestly, it makes me sick to say this. I'd rather have Ross Barkley than Jorginho because they're both awful for me. But at least Barkley's not going to get bullied. And the Premier League, technical ability is nice. But I'm afraid if you can't pitch up and play with the big boys, even David Silva transitioned into a nasty piece of work. You look at Bernardo Silva, the pretty feet don't work anymore. And Jorginho, for me, every time we get counter-attacked, I get nervous. But defend your man.
No, I'm not even here to defend him. No, let's not get it wrong. Thing is, like, I think everybody has their own innate preference when it comes to like style of football. Do you know what I mean? I am more of like the classic Italian way of playing football and like systematic and stuff like that. I've always had an interest in that because I love playing chess. You know what I mean? So I love strategy and all of that sort of stuff. That's where Jorginho fits. When Sarri left the club and Lampard wasn't going to adapt to what Sarri used, I knew Jorginho's time was more or less up. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously he's not a strong player. And to play the sort of expansive, fast, aggressive football that Frank Lampard wants to play, he's not the man. As an individual and a player, if you put him in the correct system, I feel like he's an excellent player. Do you know what I mean? But outside that, he's a one-trick horse. Do you know what I mean? He's a one-trick dog. He doesn't really you can't really put him in too many for me. So when it comes to like the actual player, if I were to judge him in isolation, I'd be like, I'm not looking at what he's playing at or what team he's playing at. I feel like he's a good niche player. But right now, I just don't see him fitting in. And I think as a fan of Jorginho, I feel like he should be moved on personally because he doesn't fit the Premier League too well. He's not fit for it at all.
Sure, he's a Surrey ball guy. Hey, there's a really interesting thing that I don't know if it's getting enough traction is, for me, I almost feel like Bakayoko would be perfect for Lampard's style. And I know people criticize Bakayoko for the one season he had, but so is he completely dead to us? Because if there's one thing Chelsea are missing is height. I love our players. We are missing them out, bro. But I think we should have fought harder to keep him purely for the height. We have no height, and it matters in the Premier League, or not,
bro. We played against some Irish farmers last year, and he couldn't even play ball, fam. Every single Chelsea fan under the sun saw that game, and that was the game. This man used to pass to ghosts on the touchline, like literally. Outside Chelsea, he was not a bad player. Do you know what I mean? He did ball for AC Milan and all of that. But as far as his Chelsea legacy is concerned, apart from that blue hair he done, he's finished. I don't think there's anything you can really tell anybody about. Yeah. And I think with AC Milan, are going to sort him out. I don't think by the end of this season, he's not going to be a Chelsea player. I don't think. No. So I do get you the hype though. And I do get you, ideally, if he was a lot better. He's already tarnished his reputation. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's tarnished his reputation, so I don't just see it working out.
No, I hear you. I mean, listen, hey, be who you can afford to be, you know, and maybe he's just, it's too much. So let's talk about one more guy who's on the fence. We got Peter Dinklage in goal. Kepa Arrizabalaga, is he the most tragic thing to ever happen to Chelsea? Can it get 8% of the goals Chelsea have? Okay, there we go. I see what is happening there? He needs to go. I've proposed pay anyone £50 million to take him off our hands. Pay them, whoever will take him, pay them £50 million. Am I crazy? Do I not know what I'm talking about?
The last time I spoke on Kepa, I actually because I went on the podcast, I spoke on Kepa and the rant I went on was ridiculous because I defended this man for the longest time and he made me look like a clown. Do you know what I mean? How can you defend someone that doesn't care about themselves? Do you know what I mean? How does that work? You can't defend someone that doesn't care about themselves. Statistically, he is the worst goalkeeper the Premier League has ever seen since it started. He's 30 years old.
In the top 14. In the top 14.
Do you know what I mean? In the top 14. Do you know what I mean? This man concedes more goals than baskets. And then the man that's in charge of training him, do you know the funniest part of the whole situation? Kepa's statistics goal-wise, okay, the next worst person is the coach that coaches Kepa ever in the Premier League. Are you joking? He's a clown. His manager doesn't believe in him. He doesn't believe in himself. I've never seen someone so arrogant that lacks so much ability. Do you know what I mean? He's such a horrendous player. And his attitude, you know that thing where he comes onto the thing and he winks. I hate that guy, man. Honestly, I really thing is, once again, he's a Chelsea player, and oh God, it's difficult for me to even just say I back him. Do you know what I mean? It's really difficult. But when he steps on the pitch, I try my best. But I really do respect that guy because every time he went on that pitch last year, I kept on backing him. I made videos. I said, I put out tweets. I put out propaganda when he done well. I said, oh, let's back Kepa. This. Obviously, I'm not going to say I warrant because he got death threats and he got all sorts of abuse. I don't. What's the word? I don't support any of that at all. Yeah, I don't condone that. I don't condone it at all. But at the end of the day, man, he should get out of my club. Honestly, he should I would take anybody over Kepa right now. Really, my speaker, fam. I put my speaker over. I put so many things in goal. I'd rather there was a time when because sometimes I do tweet our lineups. I put our lineups on the timeline for people to have a look at. I'd rather honestly. There's a time I put out a blank goal. There was nobody in the goal because I just feel like Kepa is that useless. He's truly that useless because when you have Kepa in goal, I don't know if you saw that video of Kepa when people when the ball came and all the Chelsea players were shouting Kepa for him to come and pick out the ball. And they had nah.
All right. I'm picking up that. Yeah, I think. Hey, you're not really being too clear how you feel about Kepa. There, it was you stood on. You said,
I'm holding back, boss. I'm holding back.
This guy, bro. But anyway, so let's move on. Give me your ideal. Okay. Holocene says, I think the top 3 teams should pay Kepa's salary. He put them there. Hey.
I like that.
That's absolutely brilliant. Before we take questions, Dami, you've been incredible. Do you have time to stick around for some questions?
Oh, of course, yeah, definitely.
All right, so quickly give me, in your ideal world next season, including your dream goalkeeper, who's realistic, give me your ideal 11. I'd love to hear so let's just go ideal, everybody's fit, and give me your 11. You can play whatever formation you want.
Everybody's fit, and then...
Everybody's fit, we got the dream signings.
Dream signings?
Well, I mean, the ones that are realistically going to happen. I don't mean Leo Messi's. I don't think he's leaving Barcelona, but we can speak about that another time.
He's leaving. Oh yeah, we'll speak about that another time. But he is. I think he is.
We can chat another time about that. But let's talk about the ones that we know, right? Silva, Havertz. Let's talk about what's actually in the ball play, and let's not presume anything. With the ones that Havertz, let's consider him one of ours. Chilwell's one of ours. Silva, let's consider him one of ours. So with all of the ones you know about and who's at the club, who's dream lineup, give it to me 1 to 11. Kepa's gone, by the way. Kepa's dead, and you've got your dream keeper, whoever that may be. Realistic dream keeper. So let's say Oblak or... Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, I was going to put Oblak in goal, but because of the amount of money required, I don't think that could happen. So if I were to choose a keeper I've been very strong for is Onana. Onana as a keeper, I wouldn't mind that as a keeper. If not Onana, then Henderson. But those two right now, I'm not too sure how that's going to go. I'm going to play a 4-3-3 as far as my dream team is concerned. Left back, obviously, I have no other option than Ben Chilwell because he just signed and everything. And then for the centre back pair, going to be Thiago Silva. I never, as I've been a Chelsea fan for 20 years, I never thought in my wildest dreams I would say Thiago Silva was a centre back for Chelsea. That's the thought, because that guy was he's such an elite player. He's such an elite player. And the fact that we got him for free as well, and he took a wage cut just to sign for us, that's ridiculous. But Thiago Silva.
Hey, before you move on, do you, with you guys being your entertainers and being big time out there, because you're in Sheffield, right?
Yeah.
When you go see your guys in London, if they know Santan Dave, I tweeted it. I expect a remix of that Thiago Silva banger.
Oh my
Him and
days.
AJ Tracy. Come on, bro.
Actually,
Come
I
on.
actually got in touch. I don't know if you know Alex from Glastonbury, the guy that sang the
I
song on
do.
stage.
Oh my God. That was the greatest thing ever.
Nah, that guy was something else. I tried to get in contact with him and everything to sort something out, but that let's see as that unfolds. Maybe I can drop it before the time comes, but we see as it goes. But at the end of the day, I mean, Thiago Silva for me over there. I think Kurt Zuma is a good centre back. I think out of all centre backs we currently have, because I see Tomori going out on loan. I'm not the biggest fan, but I do see it happening. Reece James, our right back. I think that's already set in stone. That DM position for me right now. Assuming we did get a signings, I feel if we did get Declan Rice, I'd play him at GM. Okay, a lot of people are going to bash me for not putting Kante there, but a statistic a lot of people forget about Kante is that this last season he only played 45% of all games. In all his previous seasons in the Premier League, that number was above 90. He's getting older, guys. He's getting a lot older. You can't keep on running around like that at that age. Do you know what I mean? It's not possible. So I'm not going to be expecting him to play. And he's not really the best. I don't think he's the best DM. Do you know what I mean? He's just the best option we do have. And people think he can convert into a DM. I think, maybe it's possible. But at that age, you're already pretty much set in stone. Like William with those horrendous corners. But let me not get too much into William because that's another whole agenda on the side. So I probably take either Declan Rice or Kante. On the right midfield, Kai Havertz. Even before Chelsea got linked to Havertz, I've been on Havertz for a long time because I don't just watch English football. I watch football from other leagues. I love watching the Italian league. I love watching the German league whenever I do have time. And I've always been so fascinated by Havertz, if you know what I mean. So Havertz, for me, in fact, that he's even signed. This is a dream window, It's just a dream window for any Chelsea fan. But Havertz definitely on that right-hand position. On that left-hand position, people are probably going to slay me for this, but I love Mason Mount too much, and he works too hard. I think that's probably going to be Mason Mount. Yeah, it's not Kovacic. Yeah, I know. It's a bit of an odd one, isn't it?
And I like Mason Mount. I want the kids to play, but no Kovacic. All right. Wow.
Okay, the reason why I'm not putting Kovacic down, people are going to tell me I'm waffling and tell me I'm chatting rubbish. But at the end of the day, if Lampard wants to play with two offensive eights, honestly, and this is an unpopular opinion, and tell me, I want to know what you think of what I'm about to say, because I've really put this on the timeline. It's just something I've been thinking about up in here. If Kovacic doesn't successfully convert himself into a deep single midfielder next season, and he doesn't up either his goals or his assists, the tally, I think he's out. What do you think?
Wow.
I genuinely think because at the end of the day, I just feel like he Do you get what I'm saying? He needs to either up that goal, because I feel like with the way Lampard wants to play, quote unquote, with one single GM, Kovacic doesn't have, and I've always said this and I will always back it, he doesn't have, don't get me wrong, this season was excellent, magnificent. All the podcasts I went on, 10 over 10 season, 10 over 10 season. Season player of the year for Chelsea FC, definitely. No question asked. But when it comes to being disciplined and playing in that DM position on your ones by himself, Kovacic can't do that. He's not different enough to do that. Now, where else would you possibly play him? You have to play him in the midfield. And if you're going to play with two offensive eights, what do? They score goals or they assist them. Or they put in key passes. Kovacic does not give you that. So he needs to either up on that, or he needs to be more disciplined. What do you think? I'm sure curious to hear what you have to think.
So, why I love Kovacic is he gives me the two things that I think all of the other guys lack. Mason Mount is brilliant. He's direct. I see a bit of Lampard in Mason Mount. You look how he breaks brilliantly late into the box. He loves to have a shot. He's never scared to shoot. What I like about Kovacic is you've seen how no matter where he is, he's so comfortable on the ball. I think all of the other midfielders, it's the one thing that they lack is that ability to be comfortable on the ball. And sometimes you guy who can absorb pressure, and then he's brilliant at getting away from that challenge. So what that gives us is the option of a midfielder that breaks the lines with the ball at his feet, which is what Willian did brilliantly as well. I wasn't a big fan of Willian's end product, but Willian was brilliant at, we're now in the defensive block, ball at my feet, I run past you. And that's so important for me with Kovacic. He's so comfortable on the ball. I like Mason Mount, but he likes to pass the ball, move into space, pass the ball. And then I think Havertz is already giving me that. Because Havertz, for me, I see another Ballack, to be honest with you, is I see a tank of a guy who's already giving me that and breaking late into the box. I wonder if they might get in each other's way it would be my concern with the Havertz and Mount, because there's only one ball. And I just see Havertz is so dominant, and he's a chance creator.
I mean, as well. Yeah, Pulisic. Yeah, I hear you.
Whereas, I just think Kova, the beautiful thing is he's more functional. I think, forget about the stats for a moment, is he does hard running, and you're not going to lose the ball with him. And I really love that, and I love his ability to carry the ball, and he'll do the dog work, so Havertz doesn't have to do so much of it. And then you've got the DM and him doing that ugly running, because he does like to run, in my opinion. And then you really let Havertz free. Havertz now must be almost an 8-10 pivot. He really he shouldn't have to look back against 90% of the teams. Havertz, I don't want him crossing our halfway line too much, because I want him doing that damage at the other end. But I love Mason Mount, so it's a beautiful option to have, because against some teams, Mason Mount, where he's beautiful is where you have possession, is he'll get in the other box and he will hit it from, there's so many teams that are going to be playing that low block. Sometimes you need that option, is bang it from far. So it's a tough one, and it's a beautiful problem to have. But it's your team, and you're saying Mason Mount. I can't complain. I say I want the kids. So let's hear it. We've got Mason Mount, Havertz, and we've got Declan Rice in that dream sort of trio. Let's go to the game winners.
No, that's easy. That's Pulisic versus Ziyech. Anything else is wrong. Anything else is wrong. Proper wrong. That is the dream.
Say that again, bro. Say that again, bro. What?
Pulisic, Werner, and Ziyech, Maji. All three.
90 goals.
Imagine them
90
running.
goals. 90 goals. 90 goals now. Write it down. Right? If you listen, I got a pen. Pulisic.
We book it.
20 goals. 20 goals. Werner, 35 goals. Ziyech, 20 assists.
Want to bet on that, Maggie?
Yeah, it's there. I've written it down. I've written it down.
Bet?
I mean, that is, I'm sorry, no matter who you are, I don't want to hear about Mason Greenwood. I don't want to, like, hey, for those people that didn't see it.
Oh, days.
So, there it is. I've written it down.
That's spiritual as we speak, my friend.
Pulisic, I've spelt his name wrong, but 20 goals. Werner, 35 goals. Ziyech, 20 assists. There we go. I'm done. I'm done. I've had this thing. So that's a mad lineup, bro. Like, seriously, that gets me excited, because it's got a lot of functional guys, hard-running guys. I mean, you're talking about Havertz's power from midfield and that ability to find that killer pass for that front three. Are you kidding? And then people forget about Ziyech, by the way. He's not just a dead guy, right? He's got everything. Yeah. Give me the ball, and he's got those killer passes. And my God, we know he loves the goal.
Yeah. Oh, Ziyech. Thing with Ziyech, I'm not even going to come and front on you. I'm not going to front on this live stream. I wanted Sancho. I will even lie to you. I like, obviously with the Sancho train, everything. And look, when Sancho propaganda was coming out from my accounts, and like Matisse as well, everybody that came in his way was getting slandered. Do you know what I mean? Everybody that came, you could have brought up Messi was slandered. I mean, obviously not Messi, but everybody that came in his way was getting slandered. If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now we have Ziyech, and Ziyech is. Like I said, the thought of having Ziyech and Reece James on the right-hand side next season is like, I can't. One of them crosses, like, James crosses on his right foot, Ziyech crosses on his left foot, and Ziyech can shoot, James can shoot as well. It's ridiculous. It's orgasmic.
It's a vaseline.
You know what I mean?
It's orgasmic. Orgasmic.
It's mental. So, like, for me, Ziyech, like, obviously he's going to take quite a lot of shots, and he might, because his conversion rate isn't the highest, but, I'm looking forward to Ziyech next season. He can do some delicious, sexy passes as well. It's ridiculous.
It's what they call in London a mazzoline. It's a mazza. It's going to be a mazza next season.
It's the mazza class.
It's the mazza. Hey, bro, you've been amazing. And, I appreciate you for coming on, because you've had great success. And I hope everything keeps growing for you. And I just cannot wait to see you go on. And I cannot wait to have you back. Talk to me a little bit let's talk about business, because SW6, you work with the guys. Who else do you work with online? Because I think people should go and see your content in general, and football stuff. I love your stuff. So talk to me about the podcast. What else are you doing in and around Blues TV and all of that sort of content? Tell us everything you do, where we can go and support you. And Dave, let's put up his handles while he's talking.
I mean, for me at the moment, so obviously a lot of stuff is happening at the Grand Dam. So that's just like my main Twitter account. obviously I do have like my little account where I just rant off and talk about rubbish and stuff like that. And obviously I do have the podcast. So I mean, SW6, I'm the one that like created. I mean, not created, but I'm the one that I took over SW6 sometime in February, and I handed it off to some other people so that they can keep it progressing, so I could move on with my own personal thing. As far as things I'm working on, I do have some new stuff that's going to come out really soon. A lot of people are not going to expect, really not going to expect.
Awesome.
I'm working with some companies. I can't disclose that just yet because of the confidentiality of the agreement at the moment. But at the moment, if you're trying to find your boy, yeah, exactly. If you're trying to find your boy, just at the Grand Dam, you get the videos. I tweet off the podcast from there. And obviously, if you're trying to get some like Chelsea related news, that's not directly from me, but I really do recommend you check it out. Obviously, SW6 Daily puts out fantastic articles and they put out fantastic graphics and all of that on a daily basis. So I think that's what you should check out at the moment.
And SW6, who owns that? Are you like you said? Are you saying you started were you part of the launch of it, or is it owned by somebody else and they get content creators?
Okay, so at the moment, it's the day-to-day operations are being handled by Elizabeth and Jay. So I recruited Jay onto the team when I was still the day-to-day of SW6, and we had an initial person that started SW6 with a group of people, but I took over and like I took stuff to like the next level. I'm the one that introduced the web page and like I changed how stuff was done. But like I say, like to put all these my videos and stuff, because I'm a really busy guy, you know what I mean? So I have I've got university work to do. I've got like my job to handle. I've got like my Twitter stuff to handle as well. And I do a lot of stuff on the side. I love reading. I do stuff like that. So I had to pass it off to them. So I would classify myself as a very, very backseat owner. You know what I mean? I don't really do anything. Obviously, so when it comes to I don't really handle, like I said, I don't handle day-to-day stuff when it comes to like managing the web page and handling like search engine optimization and stuff like that, because that's what I study as well. So all those things, that's what I sort of manage at the moment. But content creators, we just sort of like the whole idea of the platform is anybody can come onto the platform. I mean, for me, I just felt like I have the following to be able to. I want to give people a chance. Do you know what I mean? I love supporting all the like. If you go on my page, for example, like tweet off graphics. I tweet off graphics from small accounts. I love some, like for example, I have an account. I love Pablo. I love Aaron. I love all these like Harry. I've got these little graphic accounts that don't really have the same platform I do that I'm fortunate to have. So I tried to do that. I can't really do that for every single person. So I feel SW6 Daily was the best way to do that, if you know what I mean. So that's sort of like what it's all about. So we've got people that write fantastic articles. We've got fantastic graphic designers and all sorts of different stuff that's there. So,
hey, give us the handles quickly for SW6 across the platforms.
Yeah, so the handles for SW6 at SW6 Daily. So that's the one main platform. Lovely. And if you want to get the podcast, you just check my at the Grand Dam. So I tweet off all the podcasts with like I said, sometimes journalists, sometimes other personalities like myself. I had Matisse on recently. I mean, different people, parents of players, all sorts of different stuff. So yeah.
Very cool, man. That's awesome. Hey, also Nigerian mums still studying, because one thing I know about my Nigerian people, one thing we do not play around: school. So your mom's still saying, I don't care. Hey, come on.
I see the everything there. We're not playing around. No worries. My school is very important.
I love it. Hey, listen, black moms. Listen, people say it's just Nigerian. Black moms around the world, education, they don't play around. I failed 2 years at university before finishing, and my mom gave me a beating, and I was a grown man, and I was still. You're gonna be hearing it till you're 60, bro. No problem. I love it. Hey, you're amazing, bro. Let's take some questions before I let you go and eat your dinner and maybe puff out the afro a little bit more. But by the way, Matisse, insane guy. Please tell him he is welcome on this show anytime. I absolutely love that guy so much. Matisse is wild. He is so wild. The best. By the way, guys, go and check out. Sorry, I got to punt Matisse's. He's the other guy, by the way, in the intro video. And his video about triggering Roman Abramovich into this window that he released yesterday was out of this world. Out of this world. Hey, let's get into it. The Rig says, what do Chelsea need to be the Man City level in the next few seasons? So let's say in the next 2 seasons.
Oh, it's difficult, because at the end of the day, these signings we have, like, do you know what sort of team we have at the moment? This team is, no, if you think about, I don't want to say anything controversial. Do you know what I mean? Because I haven't really
No.
thought too much about this, but this
Say
team
it.
is
Say
like,
it. This is a
like-
safe space. Say it here.
like this team, like I think it could easily be next season if everybody stepped correctly for all the games. We could easily be the best team next season. Honest to God, I'm not expecting it once again. I'm not expecting it, but we could easily be the best team next season. Do you know what I mean? Because all the players, we've signed Hakim Ziyech, we've signed Timo Werner, we've signed Kai Havertz, we've signed Ben Chilwell, we've signed Thiago Silva. We're still looking at signing another centre back. We're signing a professional goalkeeper as well. Oh no.
It's gonna be. We've been playing with. My God, there's the tagline. Chelsea, for the first time in 2 years, will have a professional goalkeeper. Hey, from God's mouth to my ears, bro. Dave, what we got next? QW says, can't wait for the Havertz transfer. I mean, how excited are you? I don't even think we need to say anymore. I see him as the next Michael Ballack.
Bro, he's going to be better than Ballack, I feel. He's going to be better than Ballack.
Whoa!
Like, he's going to be better than Ballack. He's going to be better than Ballack, man. I'm telling you that. I'm telling you, and I stand by that. He's going to be better than Ballack. I think, I've been watching Kai Havertz, like, the thing is, a lot of people bounce onto the tail and see all these compilations from, like, Tiggs and them lot. Shout out to Tiggs. All these lot that make fantastic comps, and they see them on YouTube. I've been watching Kai Havertz. Do you know what I mean? It's not even like I did for time. Do you know what I mean? I've been watching this kid. This man, he's like, I don't even, like, the best way to describe him is like a better Ozil. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know. Like, he has this vibe to him, you know? And like, in terms of. What do you say?
You can raise the standard. You can raise the standard from Ozil. He had 3 good seasons at Real Madrid. That's it.
But like, you know, Ozil has that nonchalant like behavior. Do you know what I mean? That's why I sort of liken it to. Exactly. But for me, at the end of the day, Havertz, as far as excitement is concerned, I have Chelsea notifications on. My followers know me for like whenever Chelsea tweets and it's not Havertz, I'm like, where is Havertz? Every single bloody tweet that they put on the TL, where is Havertz? Obviously with Chilwell, I didn't do it today, but I'm under every single tweet, copying my likes, copying the comments. Everybody's admiring the work rate. Chelsea fans got Havertz trending. And best believe the video I'm dropping for when Havertz signs. Oh my God. If you think all my other videos were good, you're not ready for this one.
I want to listen to that one, Santan Dave. You're going to have to go get all the London guys. Bugsy Malone, you're going to have to get all the Manchester rappers. I want that one to be a banger. That's going to be nuts. Sensos Tebe says, if you guys pay 90 mil for Kai Havertz and he doesn't correct, please don't ever chat that breeze about Paul Pogba again, please. So I don't know if you want to take this one or let me take this one.
Bro, go ahead, because if I speak...
Listen, here's the thing about it, you know, when you break the world record for somebody, so they've been the same team they were under David Moyes, you've been Europa League, and it's been an anomaly when you've been in the Champions League. That's with Paul Pogba and having spent big money on a centre-back, a fridge that's now basically a jailbird, by the way, with David De Gea, with Aaron Wan-Bissaka, with Luke Shaw, with Fred, in the 4 seasons, by the way. So I've done a couple of shows on Pogba. If Kai Havertz just plays 4 seasons in a row and manages to play 40 games a season, he's already been worth more than Pogba. So forget about performance for a second. You can't be the guy if you're not there. My problem with Pogba is I don't care how good you are. If you can't give me 40 games, it means Pogba can't influence 60%, 70% of the season. So the Pogba thing's dead because he hasn't improved the team since David Moyes was there. So they should have just had no Pogba and stay with David Moyes. It's gotten no better. So, I mean, come on.
Agreed.
Come on.
I agree.
I mean, what are we talking about? Smoking Gunner says, Dami, how did you become the Chelsea guy? I'm trying to save Arsenal. What can you show me the way? It's a fair question. What's he saying? You're the voice of the people. You're the voice of the people. Like, I've said it.
You know, when people, because I get, it's ridiculous, man. It's just because the growth comes so quickly, and people I really do appreciate that, my friend. I really do. Like, it's short. Like, you guys don't seem to understand. For me, because like I said, I come onto the TL, and like a lot of my videos I put out, I have no scripts. I don't plan nothing. What you see is how I am. Do you know what I mean? So when I see the Chelsea guy, but I mean, like you said, you're Arsenal, my G. I'm sorry, my G, but like, there's nothing.
There's no helping that.
I'm sorry.
You know what I mean?
I mean, except to make your fans laugh, I can't think of anything else. Because as far as the club is concerned, I know you're done. You're done.
Because
You're honestly done.
I could say to people, I want to be Idris Elba. There's nothing I can do about that. I have to accept what I am. Like, this is the mess I'm stuck with. I'm not Idris Elba. You know what I mean? As much as I want to be, I think it's the same thing. Arsenal. You that guy who's you can't be ugly and broke, and that's what Arsenal are. I mean, that's the problem. That, you know what I mean? Like, I'm ugly and broke. That's why I'm not Idris Elba. So I'm afraid we can't help there. You're getting it.
You've got the facial hair and that, man. Look at me, I'm a skeleton. What is it? Nothing is there. What are you talking about? You're good, man. You're good.
Let's go. Farileti says, what about Chelsea for Pogba? They are only a fourth place team, tied third. Firstly, Fari, have some respect. Have some respect. I mean, what is I talking about? People out here trying to bait us. But I want to go, Fari, that's good banter. I'll give you that. I want to go back to what you were saying, which is some real talk. Even though you're saying, and maybe you know this, is that the connection to people, all great leaders in the past, actually, if you think about them, it's not people that are billionaires, millionaires. You think of their heroes, Malcolm X, these people. It's not people that were chasing money and that they started out. You look at these big people who build their social media accounts and in the past have political campaigns funded by millions. Those aren't the people that become people's champs. And, for now, let me compliment the Arsenal fan just now. The reason a guy like Troops has captured the imagination of, I love AFTV because they've opened up the digital space for everybody. But you look at a guy like Troops, whether you like him or not, he's real. He's not trying to manipulate. He's not trying to manipulate you by being cardboard cut out, made for Sky Sports. That is what I am, and I'm proud to be what I am. I don't care where you are in the world. You can respect somebody who, this is what I am. Love me as I am. To be that honest, and even with you, you're not trying to be Clarkson. You are what you are. You bring your flavor, and which is why you can do no script, because it's somewhere. It's not somewhere to be. I don't know. Another guy people love because he's from the streets and he keeps it street on Sky Sports. Love him or hate him. You know what I mean? So for me, I think your quick assent isn't because it is actually the reason you're saying is I can be professional, I can be these other things. No, being you is why it's been so assent, because people will choose the people's champ. You can't tell people I'm the people's champ. So me, you, Troops, people like that, keep it real and I love the man at Tottenham. Expressions oozing, whether you like his content or not. But that's who he is. He brings that's raw. And the people will connect with raw, even if they're not a Tottenham or an Arsenal fan. You're from the streets, brother. Keep it real. You're a Nigerian guy. You bring that out, and that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. You don't need to be cut out. Gym on Sky Sports, and people connect with that, bro. That's why you've grown so quickly, bro. All right. Look, talk to me about one thing. Jody Morris and the social media story, bro. How he's paying on social media. Is that something that is a gift of Chelsea Football Club? I mean,
Yo, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, okay. So like you said, Georgie Morrison. Like, if I think he's meant to be representing football club, like as he's like with Chelsea. Oh, basically, like okay. Georgie Morris. With Georgie Morris, for me, honestly, it's a bit of an odd one. It's like, because at the end of the day with Georgie Morris, I feel like that if any other assistant manager does what Georgie Morris has done, he's going to get really, really slandered. I love Georgie Morris, okay? And when I mean I love that, I love the way that he's very interactive with the fans and like obviously that he goes on social media, but there's a way you're supposed to step on the timeline. You can't really expect Georgie Morris, okay, to come onto the platform, tweet the way he does, put Instagram stories the way he does. And if one of the younger kids come onto the same platform and behave the same way, Jody Morris is the last person to correct them. Do you know what I mean? You can't do things that way. It doesn't work that way. And I disagree with the way he got, like, for the other time he was talking about Twitter managers and stuff like that. I said, what the are you saying? Do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me like that. You don't step like that, because if you think about this, if that was Mauricio Sarri on Twitter saying Twitter managers, people are going to be like, so you even listen to Twitter managers in the first place? Do you know what I mean? It doesn't paint a good representation for the club. So a lot of people are trying to defend him, and I said, nah, screw that. He messed up. And like, he shouldn't be tweeting like that. Do you know what I mean? That's why he deleted the tweets. If the tweets were okay, they'd still be up. Do you know what I mean? Short and simple. You don't just come and start tweeting at your age managing Chelsea FC. It doesn't work that way. And like, a lot of people think, a lot of things that people don't understand is, I don't disrespect people. I tell people the way things are. And if you feel like what I'm saying to you is, because I mean, I'm not blocked by any of these people, and I'm aware some of them have seen my stuff on the timeline. I don't insult people, but I'm going to say things the way they are, and I'm going to be very honest about it. So whether it's Jody Morris or Frank Lampard or Callum Hudson-Odoi or Mason Mount, even Mason Mount I love so much, I've packed him up in the video before. Do you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, it's all constructive criticism, and for me, it is not the standard that is meant. There's a prestige about Chelsea FC. There's a prestige about that badge. You don't come onto the TL tweeting like that. I don't care if you're drunk, honestly.
Enough said. Dave, what you got for me? I've got nothing to add to that. Nothing more to say, bro. I couldn't agree more. Dave, what you got for us? Senzo saying, Loftus-Cheek, I rate that lad highly. Let me take it first, and I'd like to hear your call. I totally agree. I love him. He gives me that physical size, technical ability, and once again, like Willian, like Kovacic, can carry the ball, and I really love that about him. I think at some stage, though, it has to stop. And I can't be a hypocrite. I can't say Paul Pogba is always injured and then not say. And look, he's had one big one with the Achilles. It's going to be a problem now. Can he, because he's had a season off now, I'm going to need to see Loftus-Cheek when he'll get 30 games a season. He'll get 15, 20 starts. Now we'll see if he's the guy. But I rate him because he's got a beautiful quality. And once again, he's got that Lampard quality. He breaks into the box late, and I love that in the midfield. It's really dying today. Most people are number 10s, and they want to be David Silva, Bernardo Silva type players. But I still like that old school English number 8 who can break and run what they call run beyond the last defender. Your thoughts on Loftus-Cheek, just purely on the potential?
Bro, you're spot on. When it comes to Loftus-Cheek, right? If he was around the same age as all these players, I think Loftus-Cheek I could argue, is my favorite player. Do you know what I mean? The reason Mason Mount has taken over Loftus-Cheek at the moment simply because, I mean, Kai Havertz probably going to take over all of them because I've been in love with Havertz for a long time. I knew Havertz before Mason Mount. Like, what are we talking about? Let's be real. So, but Loftus-Cheek, when Loftus-Cheek picks up the ball and takes it forward, you know something is going to happen. Do you know what I mean? Loftus-Cheek in some of those games in Sarri's season was magnificent. Do you know what I mean? But with all of that being said, I thought he was going to be the talisman for Chelsea. One season passed by because of the Achilles and everything, with no fault to him. Next season, this man's going to be 25. Is it 25, 26? He's getting old.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's no spring chicken. Like, he's not fresh out the block. Do you know what I'm saying? So next season, if man doesn't start, like, if you don't play often, okay, once again, next season, if he doesn't pattern up next season, I think that's it. I really do think that's it. Because another player that reminds me of Loftus-Cheek in the academy is there. Tino Anjorin. Do you know what I mean? And do you know Tino?
I do.
Tino,
Do I know Tino Anjorin? Hey, Chelsea TV subscriber. I watch all the youth games. There's nothing about Chelsea I miss. I'm on it.
Proper Chelsea.
Oh, come on. Come on. The West London.
For me, at the end of the day, if he doesn't pattern up next season, as much as I hate to say it, because it's difficult for me to say it, do you know what I mean? And I keep telling you, I keep things real. I don't do this sympathizing crap. Do you know what I mean? I love Jorginho. People know I love Jorginho. My Twitter account, my first picture on that account was Jorginho. Do you know what I mean? That was my first picture. So people know that it's not just agenda driven. So I love Jorginho, but I've said the straight facts with him. I love Kovacic, but I've said what I feel like the straight facts with him. I'm going to say the same with Loftus-Cheek. Next season, if he doesn't pattern up next season, he's done. I'm telling you, if he can't play consistently next season and he keeps getting injured, next season, he's done. I'm telling you. He's going to become the second, what's this guy called? You know that guy that has been injured since we signed him? Marco Van Ginkel. and that'll be the end.
Oh wow, yeah, no, that's been a disaster, and they spoke about him as the next Mark van Bommel type player. It's been a disaster with Van Ginkel. So hey, listen, this is going to turn into a Joe Rogan episode. Let's take 2 more questions. I'm going to let you get out of here because your mum might see this, and if you fail, then I don't want black moms catching me. You know what I mean? I don't need her saying you're the one with my son talking all that nonsense on your youth TV.
We don't need the belt.
There it is.
All the slippers.
Hollow Seed says, if Messi leaves, how much should Chelsea spend on him? What number would you be comfortable for 33-year-old Leo Messi?
Blank check, bro. Blank check. I'm telling you.
200 million.
Blank. Like, give him a blank check, fam. It's Messi. Like, look, listen. How many times do you get the chance to sign the greatest player the world has ever seen? How many times does that opportunity come up? It doesn't come up a lot often. People are telling me things like he's going to block the youth. Are you mad? It's Messi. Like, what's the issue? Like, it's Lionel Messi. Like, there's no blocking the youth anything. Literally. Do you know what I mean? How many people want this man signature? If Messi says he wants to leave Barcelona, and like, I mean, I'm seeing there are a lot of legal issues at the moment because I'm keeping up with the story as well. I'm seeing Messi wants to leave, and like obviously he has a clause in his contract that allows him to leave for free. None of that, but people telling me he's going to block the likes of. I don't care. I'm sorry, because it's Lionel Messi. Do you know what I mean? It's Lionel Messi.
I got you.
Like, and he's not like even if it's for 6 months. I just want to see the fact that Messi donned that Chelsea jersey before he retires. Nah, anything it takes, whatever it takes. Honestly, whatever it takes. Really, I can't even begin to
like. I actually don't even want to think about it. I don't want to get that high and then it doesn't happen. Sensos Tebe says, actually, the only striker whose career Chelsea didn't tank is Drogba. Otherwise, Chelsea is where world-class strikers go to die. Wow. How about that, huh?
I mean, Diego Costa was a fantastic striker for us. Like,
no, it makes no sense what he's saying. Yeah, it makes no sense. But
like what?
Yeah,
I mean, obviously we do have Morata and like Kezman and like all them lot that came and Bamut and all them lot. But that's such a rude. Like Anelka was. I mean, Anelka was a world class striker at Chelsea, but it wasn't bad. Do you know what I mean? We've had good strikers. You know what I mean? We've had. Yeah, I mean Diego Costa recently as well. Come on, look at Diego Costa. He was an excellent striker. 20-goal striker for Chelsea while he was there. Come on, so like, what are we talking about?
Hey, Man United had Kleberson at a stage. I don't know if you remember that. That was a real thing. Man United. They had Anderson, fatter than Luke Shaw. Unbelievable. It's an unbelievable comment, that one. But hey, fair comment. What's it? Tony CFC says, very, very modified accent. He used the general African accent so people could understand it more.
Thank you. Because like okay. I tell people, I have a worldwide audience. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
I have a worldwide audience. It's not just. And the thing is, I think about the people that are watching what I have to do. I have tried to like. I have tried to speak strictly Nigerian with like the accent and everything. I've done it in the video, and people are not really good. People are DMing me, asking me what's going on here. I've got people. A lot of people have like. I've gotten quite. I mean, I got about 95% love and about 5% hate for my last video because of the accent I used. And I've obviously I did drop in a few Nigerian tidbits, but I love the fact that this person understood what exactly I was trying to get at with the accent, because people think I'm just trying to mock it. Do you know what I mean? But I know myself, like, I've lived in Nigeria longer than I lived in the UK. Do you know what I mean? So let's not even... just because I can speak like this doesn't mean I can't speak proper Nigerian. Do you get what I mean? I obviously love my country. I love the food. I love everything there. So at the end of the day, when I'm attending to my fans and not fans, that was a bad mistake. When I'm attending to people that follow me...
Hey, you're big time. Hey, too late. Internet lives forever. He's big time. He's the guy. He's the people's champ. Let's go. It's too late. The internet's forever. And by the way, I'm tagging you after this. Hey, it's too late. I tell you what, John Obi Mikel, you're the second most important Nigerian to ever live. JJ Okocha, get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. Hey, Tariba West, get the hell out of here. We got Nigeria's finest.
Let's go. Oh my days. But now, like I said, I really love that comment because the person understood what was going on. The person understood what was going on. If you're Nigerian, you know I was not like I sprinkled in like when I kept on saying sir, sir, sir. That's obvious. Like if you're not Nigerian, you're not going to understand. So whatever it is.
Yeah, listen, Waterboy's got a great point. Tell the Chelsea haters to get the hell out in proper Nigerian. Let me tell you something. How great, by the way. Speaking of this, there it is, my guy. You know, there we go. Talk to me about Michael Depper, and I think Michael Depper, what he's done, you know, with the Ghanaian Uber driver, isn't that one of the greatest characters? Have you seen Swill? I mean, that's madness, right?
Bro,
but Mike,
big up that man.
When he did that, though, for me, one of the things I celebrated is he took that West African and took it to the world, you know, because there are regions, you know, having traveled Nigeria, Ghana, my sister studied in Cote d'Ivoire, so, you know, it's a region of the world I know rather well and enjoy, and the people are big energy. So I'm a big energy guy, so I love West Africa. And hey, go Jollof. We'll finish off with the Jollof conversation when we end here. But to me, it's like, it's okay to be multifaceted. So my tribe in South Africa is Xhosa. All right, my father's Xhosa, my mother is Sepedi. Offline lessons. Offline lessons. Be careful. We're gonna have to take you for an operation, a throat operation, if you try and say it without practicing. So we have to take you through development. Yeah, the X has a sound, but to be multifaceted, you know, is I speak English, I speak Xhosa, I speak Sepedi. You may be, but Agbo or I'm not sure what region of Nigeria is. Why don't we celebrate that? Like this thing of proper Nigerian, that's nonsense. Is you're in the Socratic sense, it's actually better. Is you're still Nigerian. You don't have to prove that to anyone. But in the Socratic sense, you're a citizen of the world. Let's celebrate that. For so long, Nigerians couldn't be in London. Right? People from London couldn't be in South Africa. Why do people always want to minimize people to their version of what Nigerian should be? We should celebrate that a Nigerian is capable of being many things rather than if you're Nigerian, you can only be one thing. Do I sound nuts? Or I mean, I don't, because this is a real conversation, right?
You're spot on.
I lived in Watford for, yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, go on. Go ahead.
So I lived in Watford, right? And by that time is, you know, Hertfordshire area, there's lots of West Indian people. So when I grew up there, I was 19. So the flavor is, you know, if you look at history, a lot of, it's got that Caribbean, West African feel. There's a lot of them in Watford. And it was when Dizzy Rascal was taking over. So, you know, 2005, 06, I was in that region. Yeah. So, you know, the grime scene was going nuts. That came from... West Africans, you look at, so the flavor for me, it's like, it's mad. The accent, they bring a different feel. You bring in the slang, you bring the patois. You know, you hear guys, you hear Troops, he's got a patois tone to him. You've got your thing going. Why do we want to minimize people to you can only be a certain type of Caribbean person? That's madness. You listen to Dizzy Rascal's first album, I believe the greatest hip hop album ever written. And I'm old, I'm biased, but Boy in the Corner is, he goes from British English to the most slang of Nigerian, which he is, slang within there. It is absolute pure genius. There's an African who's going, I'm African British and I'm going to take it to the world. Why wouldn't we want to be that? I don't understand that.
It just like, it's back the thinking. I think it's the thinking. A lot of people just don't have that. They don't think outside. Like the thing is, and like I'm just going to use my video as like reference because that's the most current thing around. If you know what I mean, like, in terms of this conversation, that video, a lot of people, whenever they try and pull off an African accent, they try and mock it. They mock it. You know how the way they, you know the time I'm talking about where they're like,
I do.
I do. You know, there's a way they go. I didn't do that. Do you know what I mean? I just did. Like at the end of the day, there are some things that you can use to identify a language. You know what I mean? For example, if I want to speak Chinese or like Mandarin, okay, I can be like ni hao. You know that's a Mandarin word, okay? But I don't need to always. I don't need to speak it with the. As long like, but if this person that speaks Mandarin hears that, they're going to appreciate it. I mean, not necessarily just 100%. That word, but they're going to appreciate it because they can see I'm trying to connect with their own side of the spectrum. Now, what am I trying to do here? I'm a Nigerian, okay, who's lived in the UK for a while, okay, everybody that watches the videos are familiar with the British accent, but I know I have a Nigerian following. How am I going to attend to that Nigerian following? And I'm also going to attend to everybody else. What am I going to do? I'm going to drop in the Nigerian mannerisms. I'm going to drop in a few of the phrases that are involved. And I'm going to try and blend and make everybody happy. Everybody that commented under that video was not Nigerian, even though Nigeria was in the title. Do you know what I mean? But everybody still enjoyed it. So what am I trying to get at? You've got like, I don't know, you know JME, right? You know JME.
Hey, come on, Skepta's brother. Come on. Hey, I've been on this grime thing. I'm telling you, when I was in Watford is when it got started. I always say, Dizzy Rascal, I've watched him at the beginning before he was big, and now he's my favorite. So, hey, I'm all grime. I don't listen to American hip hop. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like those guys and the music they listen to, that even the London accent, people don't understand that these things are heavily influenced by Africa, and all these things diversify. Do you know what I mean? So it's different when someone is trying to to mock it, which we are not doing. Do you know what I mean? So people just need to not. It doesn't always have to be so. You don't have to be close-minded. Do you know what I mean? You need to open up your eyes, you need to open up your vision. You need to be able to see stuff around you, and you need to be able to appreciate when people try and mix stuff up. Do you know what I mean? Or what do you think?
Yeah. Hey, I would rather you were taking it to the world, and we rather have a conversation about, okay, is that what's happening there? Then we never hear what a Nigerian person sounds like, whether real or not. So for me, listen, I'm not shy. I'm pro-African. I'm a citizen of the world. I'm not going to sit here and lie to anybody. I love it. Anybody who wants to crush a person and reduce them, you must be this version of Nigerian. It's nonsense. Nigerian people are not one thing. South African people are not one thing. Swiss people are not one thing. You know, I know Swiss people that speak Ndebele. Now, are they not being Swiss? Or are they no? You can be many things, and we should celebrate that. Especially, I'm on an African thing. I celebrate. That's why I celebrate you guys, bro. You're in the UK. It's a different life living there, looking like you look, and you guys are still gonna keep it real. I celebrate it, and let's celebrate that, like you say, becoming contemporary British culture. You know, you look at the scene right now, bro. Grime's dominating. I mean, grime artists are with Ed Sheeran. Like, what is Stormzy doing with Ed Sheeran? Like, that's crazy. That's a Ghanaian guy and Stormzy doesn't apologize about it. You know what I mean, bro?
Do you know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
I'm not here trying to act like I'm always drinking tea. My God, what am I talking about? My stuff is here, innit? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not here to play. Do you know what I mean? All my stuff is here. It's here. This is serious. Like, I love my Nigeria and I claim it. Do you know what I mean? So when people come and try and cancel me, telling me I'm acting like it doesn't make any sense. So a lot of people here, unfortunately, in the UK that are Nigerians and like Ghanaians, Zimbabwe, they try to act like they're not amongst, do you know what I mean? They're like a certain class, they're hired. But I take it in, do you know what I mean? Obviously, I take it in and I represent. That's what it is. So when people try and cancel me for not representing the way they like the way they want to be 100%, it messes me up. Do you know what I mean? So
there's no way we can finish on a better note. I've taken 2 hours of your time. You are, listen, to everybody that's here, we're going to support, we'll chat offline because I want to support what you're doing, especially since you're supporting other people. I love entrepreneurs. I love what you've just said. There's no ways we could finish on a better note. Dami, you're an inspiration, and honestly, from here onwards and upwards. And I don't care what you say, bro. This is not his last time on, folks. We'll talk more football. We'll interact with SW6 daily, see what we can do to bring the two great products together and amplify it, because congratulations on starting great work. But don't you dare give up on that education, because I know you got a black mom, and that like you said, that slipper will come flying through the door. Dami, you're an inspiration. You're a great man. Yeah. You're a great the roadman slipper, fam. The roadman slipper.
Oh,
come on, bro. Dami, you're incredible, and you've been so gracious with your time. I know everybody wants your attention. You've been incredible, and I hope you are willing to come back. To everybody who's watched tonight, it's been an honor to have this young man on, and keep going. We'll keep chatting offline. I cannot wait to keep helping and pushing whatever we can from this side. As we'll talk about doing stuff on the African continent, because we're doing some interesting things at CliffCentral. So, Dami, from me to you, my brother, it's been nothing but love.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you so much.
Greatness. Thank you, Dami. We'll chat in a little bit. To you at home, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a different ballgame. I am the People's Champ, MKT. CliffCentral Sport, along with Big Shot Media. We continue to drive forward. These are the quality guests we're going to bring you. That means he's catching fire right now in England. Go and like, subscribe, share, be a friend, tell a friend. Go support him. He's a real fan, not a corporate face, not somebody who's trying to put on a face. He is who he is. He loves football. He does it in an interesting way. It's what television's been missing for so long. I think not having guys like him on TV, they're missing out. People can connect with it. He's real. Ladies and gentlemen, for tonight, it has been a different ballgame.